Late and gay, late and gay.
Late and gay,
Wait a
late and
fucking.
gay.
Is it,
I
You just
forgot.
didn't even do the
I forgot.
intro.
Where's the
You
video?
just no, play the intro
You
now.
gotta play
I
it a
know,
little
have to
bit.
do
for
it.
I'm looking
my
for
It
it.
will
God.
feel weird if they
Where-
don't hear it.
Oh.
Where's the intro?
Hi guys.
Jake, you got to send me the real intro.
Yeah.
still
You still there? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make a Google Drive folder with all the videos in, including like the Michael Rushbrook one. But yeah, okay. At least you played something for like a little bit. It would be just weird. It's like if there's like a cartoon episode and they have a cold open, but then there's no intro. The Simpsons intro, the Family Guy intro, like it never plays, and then the episode keeps going. It's like, what the fuck? It's like a mind fuck.
That's
Okay,
that's
we
what we
managed.
just did.
Everyone can feel at peace now. There was an intro.
Yeah.
The world won't implode.
But
so
yeah,
Phil's dead, everyone.
Yeah,
he'll be
apparently.
here soon, maybe.
I guess.
If you do a
Maybe.
Google Drive, that's what we should use to upload the slides each week to maybe make a PDF for the mailing list. We're talking a little bit about this behind the scenes. Everyone who's watching, we're thinking about doing a mailing list for Creative Block. It'll include the slides of the presentations and Alex's memes and maybe like this drawing or like any amount of drawings. But here's
Oh
Jake.
shit! Look,
Yeah.
that's right.
Look at that.
He only just
Look
showed
at
this
that.
to me. I can't. I'm so happy. Anyone drawing like a caricature of yourself. I mean, look, we made fun of like what Irene having guys walk up to her and say, "Can you draw me?" And the bit is like, what guy ever wants someone to say, "Would you draw me?" But that's so cool. It's so charming.
Everybody would. I should start accepting those requests and just draw them in like ridiculous, ugly caricatures. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be great. Draw them as penises. That'll really win him over.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, guys, chat. Let us know if you guys like the idea of an email list. It's gonna be super low effort. Just like we're gonna blast out. It's gonna be once a month, and we'll send you guys Alex VRB's memes, all 4 presentations from that month.
Free
and a couple of
content from
jokes.
Alex. That's right.
Yeah,
He does the work and we get to profit. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we're not profiting, but it would be. I think it'll be cool. It'll be like cool engagement, and I've been wanting to provide the PDFs of our presentations, anyways. So like I spend like half a day on these presentations, so I'm like, let me save it for eternity.
And there's been 42 of them now. That's 42 PowerPoints, everyone. That's a special kind of hell, actually. But also, it's kind of.
I don't actually think
Novel
we've been
has
doing
had-
PowerPoints for that long.
No, not every single one had one, but Novel has had cosmetic surgery to turn himself into a toon. We have the dip on standby if he starts going off the chain to erase him. Do you guys know what the dip is? Do you remember the dip from Roger Rabbit?
No,
Oh yeah, that like melts me or whatever.
Yeah, wait, Irene, have you ever seen Who Shot Roger Rabbit? Wait, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I actually have, but I don't remember that many details.
It was because they're all animation cells, so they're all painted. Like the big bad was like paint thinner called the dip, and it was just paint thinner. So they would get erased because they would get dissolved.
And everything. All right, yeah. Yeah, I had to watch it as a required assignment for class. I just remember I was like, cool.
I loved Roger Rabbit as a kid. I just couldn't believe it. Like the whole concept.
As a kid, but I watched it as like a
insane.
22-year-old, and I'm like, Jesus.
Your feelings for Roger Rabbit are the same as they are for The Thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Jolly
Week of me with bad takes.
Get ready for the chat to get mad at you for not liking it or whatever. That's not.
Why didn't you like it? Wait, I'm mad at her. Why didn't you like Roger Rabbit?
Huh? I didn't say I didn't like it. It didn't blow my mind, but it was cool.
She said the special effects looked fake.
That's not what I said about Roger Rabbit.
Are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking
Jake, turn off your Jesus Christ! You're being manipulated, Jake. You're being. I didn't even say that.
See where they
Sorry,
hit
Jake. I accidentally manipulated you.
You did. You got them all worked up. No, Jake, I said the effects on The Thing were fake, so now you can get mad at me.
Yeah. Same.
The Thing. Wait, what's The Thing
We
movie?
can go over that
I
again.
haven't even
Real
seen
quick,
it.
The Thing.
I gotta tell you guys this. Jolly Green, he goes, there was no defense for Deus Ex Machina. But because
Oh, wait.
this is the thing tonight, you know? And I go, you get a wrench, because I gave one to Vaughn too. And Jolly Green goes, woohoo. Deus Ex
Yay!
Machina is okay.
You won him over.
Oh,
You
you
want
burned
that's how
him
you
with
do
a
it.
wrench?
Yeah.
You give him a
That's
little
the
bit,
crux
you-
of my whole argument is just to give wrenches to everyone and convince them.
There
You
you go.
catch more flies with
Oh.
honey than you do vinegar. Welcome. This is the Creative Block, the rotating weekly show where we talk about creative stuff. All four of it. And today,
Yes.
Deus Ex Machina. There we go. I had to do that because I had to get that out of my head. Because in my
Nice.
mind,
That's true. Well, we have to actually be showmen here. So, yes, welcome to Creative Block. It's a rotating show between Narwhal, Jake, me, and Phil, who isn't here. So,
Phil's gonna be here.
Casey-
Oh yeah, I forgot to say.
he will be here. So, in case you didn't know, if you're new, please subscribe to all of us and hit like. And now let's move forward.
I am
Yeah.
so relaxed today. This is the most
I
relaxed. I've
am
been-
too.
I'm
I
in
don't
my
know what's
iconic
up.
Pickle Rick hoodie.
Nice.
I've got a bit of itis because I went to Jimmy John's for dinner, so now I'm like all
Itis?
relaxed and shit. Itis.
I-
That's an Americanism for
sweats.
when you eat a lot and you're full and
Wait,
sleeping.
we probably had the same thing. I woke up and I ate 2 fucking pizzas.
Well, I
Nice.
didn't eat 2 fucking pizzas.
They were
Jesus
small.
Christ.
Okay, so
Okay.
usually I buy these like ristoranti. Oh, that's ristorante pizza, and they're delicious. But
What?
someone lately tuned me into like they're like even smaller, but you get 2 in a box, and they're like fucking beautiful. They're like stone baked pizzas, but they only do the cheese one and a meat one that isn't pepperoni. I love pepperoni, but I fucking hate meat. They put this crumbly beef. You ever have meat feast pizzas, and they put this crumbly fucking beef on them, and it just tastes like you're eating jalapenos. It just tastes like peppers.
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos. Irene,
Mhm.
would you believe it?
Lord.
Some people in
Oh,
this
the
country,
Britishism.
some people over here
Oh.
actually say the word jalapeno.
Oh, that's funny.
I've heard the word jalapeno, and I've corrected that person, and then they've continued to call them jalapenos, and it's like, what the fuck? So I'm meeting you halfway. I was saying jalapenos. Instead
Well,
of,
Americans, there are still Americans who say Bologna. So I guess
Bologna.
that's fair.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that tweet going around. They're like, why don't we spell it like this? And I'm like, no, it doesn't feel right. Like spelling it how you say it. The bologna with a G, that spelling, it feels right. There's something about it that just feels correct. But yeah, I decided to just take the cheese pizza, and then you can just buy your own pepperoni and then just put it on it. So I had a regular margarita and added my own chorizo, and it was fucking
Wow, mind blowing. Well done.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we both
real
have-
quick. We're sorry, real quick. Alex BRB, don't tell my DM I'm here. I love the email idea. Some good feedback.
I won't tell your DM. Your secret is safe with me.
Mhm.
And cool.
Stubby
Yeah,
Jr.,
I
Michael
like
Rushbrook.
the
His room.
email idea. It's our only problem. I mean, this is our conundrum, which is we'll figure out, I guess, is like what email service to use. Because fun fact, here's a little behind the scenes. If you send out more than 500 emails, you can't just use stuff like Gmail or Hotmail. You have to pay for a service. So we have to figure that out. But
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. I want to do it.
Yeah, so if 300 of you right now want to sign up for Conal the Barbarian and make me have to pay, that would be such a troll. You could totally troll me right now.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
all troll Jake, everybody. Force him to pay for MailChimp.
Yeah.
Sign up for my
For-
mail list and troll me.
For MailChimp too, it's like if you go over 1,000, it's like $60 a month. But if you're between 500 and 1,000, it's like I don't know, like $10 a month. So it's like
Okay.
still kind of. I'm like, damn, it pretty quickly gets like they're like, oh, you're a big spender, you're a big player. 100 emails.
That's
Yeah.
MailChimp. I am a
I don't know
MailChimp.
why suddenly MailChimp became Indian. I
Give me
use
all of your email addresses.
Yeah, MailChimp got. I actually didn't really like MailChimp. I'm fucking paying a shit ton of money just to be able to email every month. Here's what I found out. So I use Wix, which is the same service that hosts my website, and it's all built together. And it's super cheap if I pay for it with the website. It's all like one service with a bunch of widgets rolled together and one interface. So it's great.
Now
I would recommend that if you want a website with your email service.
We need Bancroft to weigh in with the Shopify option to battle your Wix supremacy right now.
I don't know if Shopify has an email list option. It probably does. But yeah, I don't know. That's just what I'm using now.
Mm-hmm. By the way, 30 people watching. Thanks everyone for being here. It's the creative block 1 of 4. We do the rotating show. This one is going to be about what in defense of the Deus Ex Machina. I've been trying to relearn how to say it too.
Everybody tune in right now to listen to Narwhal blaspheme against the art of storytelling and make excuses for Deus Ex Machina writing.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. We even we don't need to jump into it just yet, but this is like a quote I found. It's Robert McKee, who's like very well respected. Like he wrote a book called Screenplay. A lot of comic people read that book. Like it's one of the singular books that people will read to learn.
I did. Yeah. Required reading.
Yeah. So he's good for that. In his quote, he goes, Deus Ex Machina not only erases all meaning and emotion, it is an insult to audiences. Each of us knows we must choose and act for better or worse to determine the meaning of our lives. Deus Ex Machina is an insult because it is a lie.
It is a lie.
What about it is a lie? Why is it a lie? That didn't even explain what it is.
I don't know.
He
really doesn't like it though. I think he went too far down the rabbit hole of writing a how-to book, and because it is like a rule, but this is my thesis. My thesis is that it's a rule that you should not be worried about breaking. Though. It's kind of fun to break, but I do have to present an argument. But.
Yeah,
rules are there to be broken, but
if you're doing
breaking them, you got to know what they are. So what the fuck even is a Deus Ex whatever?
Yeah. Well, maybe we should get into it. I guess you guys cool.
Oh wait, no, we can wait for Phil. Do you ever want to talk about Valentine's Day?
No.
Do you have great Valentine's
Day? Yeah, nothing
Day
happened. Let's move on.
So
nothing happened.
How was your Valentine's Day?
I got roses and a balloon and chocolate from somebody I barely know.
What? Oh
no, it was like I went to a neighbor's New Year's party, so someone I met there just dropped by and was like, "Here you go. Here's some roses, some chocolate." It was sweet, but it's someone I barely met before. So.
Are you gonna get them to mow your lawn?
No. I mean, sure. If you want.
Are they Mormons? They missionaries?
No, they're not. No.
Good, put them to work.
They're like, while we're here, can we do anything for you? You're like, yes, you can bring me some roses on Valentine's Day.
Richard Chaos is pity roses. That's right. Those are pity roses.
Pity poses.
Dale A, not that kind of mow your lawn.
No, that's funny.
Oh.
No.
Michael says,
what we were talking about.
Hit 30K on Valentine's Day. That's kind of symbolic.
Yeah. No, I had a great day. Yeah, I haven't, man, it's been so my life is so sad. When was the last time I had company on Valentine's Day? Forever. But it doesn't matter because I hit 30K on my campaign. That's all I care about.
The thing you got to do on Valentine's Day is you got to buy some ice cream and throw on the speakers that one song, one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even feel lonely. I'm like,
what about the other song? All by myself. Don't wanna be. Yeah.
Oh no, I have no heart. I don't really care.
Well, I guess it's just me and Phil that did something for Valentine's Day.
Hello. I guess so. This is just you guys being weird, normal people that have companionship and relationships. What's that like?
Stressful.
Yeah, guess why I don't do it. just me and my comics. No, I leather jacket on today.
No, even though I actually did do something for Valentine's Day, I managed to get freaking 4 pages colored for Fiendish 2.5 this week. That was my real week. Was hunkering down and coloring because that deadline is coming up.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing that? I've been doing a really good job. You can't do the face where it's like as if I'm slagging
Crack the whip.
behind.
Crack that
Fine.
whip.
Exactly. I got to correct it with make sure you don't forget.
It's motivational.
I'm being a good collaborator. I'm motivating you.
You're on thin
Oh,
ice, Jake.
This is necessary with everybody.
Rini
Not just
Rini
you.
giveth and Rini taketh away. No, that's the line from Starship Troopers. Where does he go? He goes, I ask a lot of my men, and I giveth much in return. And he gives them beer, something like that. He's like, we work hard and we play hard. And he gives them all beer.
Yeah.
That's basically Rini and Jake.
That's what I'll do. Exactly. I'll be like, are you done with your work yet? Well, good. Cheers.
Hey,
get that
what's
paycheck,
happening?
you
We're
get a
going
cold
to
beer.
war.
If not,
That's my
you
art
get a
direction.
warm beer.
Yes. If you're late, you get a warm beer, but you still get a
Hey,
beer.
even though I go to like coloring done, I've also been playing fucking Tomb Raider.
Nice. The remaster?
Yeah, it's
We should play it live. Do a live stream.
I would have to. It's on the PS5 in the living room, so I'd have to get my laptop and my stream catchers. I'd have a whole thing to set up. I wish I could. I wish I would. But yeah, when I was younger, I was too scared of Tomb Raider to fucking play it. Like honestly, it's not. It doesn't seem like a scary game, but it's just the eeriness and like the character isn't talking to herself every 5 seconds like they do nowadays. Like you'll play a game now and there'll be no mystery to the world. There'll be no kind of like presence because the character will straight away. They'll be walking around. They'll be talking to themselves, saying, "Hey, there's a button on the wall over there." Oh, look, there you go.
So you did get roses. That's like means you kind of won Valentine's Day.
I guess so.
You have to
Nice.
see them. If people just say the word, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But when I look at them, I'm like,
That's
Yeah, I
quite
know.
a-
I have to prove.
That's quite a few. That's like a whole bunch. I debated whether getting a whole bunch would be too presumptuous, so I just decided on getting a single one.
Well, this was from someone I met once, and that so never worry about going over the top because I got this and chocolates, and
Well,
I don't
there you
even know
go.
him. So cool.
once again,
Very nice.
there's something about Mary effect in full play with Rini. The guy who met her
What?
once. You ever watch the Something About Mary?
No. Oh, but you're not the. I have a friend that makes a joke about this all the time. Oh, yeah.
that's where she like hangs out with retards.
What?
With the
Snarky said he'd send me black roses. You know me.
They always have the gay roses in
Mhm.
Tesco, where it's the rainbow roses.
What?
They
You guys
you
have gay
seen them?
roses?
Yeah, they have rainbow roses.
This is why you need America.
This is why I need America. You need to get the red, white, and blue roses.
The guy's
Need
not
no
a
gay
stalker,
roses.
but
Oh my
but
God.
accepting roses from a stalker that is hypothetically being very desperate.
Oh, I know. Yeah. As far as I know, he's not a stalker. It's just my
Is that
neighbor's
like-
friend. But
Is accepting Valentine's Day roses from a stranger the love equivalent of letting a vampire into your house?
I mean, someone
Only
shows
some-
up and
and
it's like,
only in
here are
some
roses.
scenarios.
Why would I say no? I don't understand.
I'm sharing
It's
the
not
gay
asking me
roses.
out.
Mhm.
Sharing the gay roses.
I do
It's
like
one-
black
one-
roses, of course. It's my favorite.
Share my scran, Knowles.
Oh, sorry.
Look, there they go. Look, there's rainbow roses. They don't.
Oh
they
my
don't look.
god.
They look like they're more spackled than these.
They look a
they
little
actually-
cursed, I must say. They look like
That
what you'd
is-
see if you're having a stroke.
Yeah,
that
you
looks
look
fake
at it
as
and you're like,
shit.
have I got a texture error in the video game I'm playing right now?
Yeah.
They dye them?
I genuinely don't know what it is. I guess they could dye them. I looked at them and thought, oh, it's like they've just genetically bred them to be freaks. But no, they probably could just take white
No.
roses and then, like, Jackson Pollock rainbow
Yeah, how
shit
the
all over
fuck
them.
do they even do that? That has
They
to
get
be
in- They get in the genome. They add a few extra chromosomes. They come out with the Downs rose.
Yeah, a guy in his room. I already have a firearm. Don't worry. Yeah, that can't be natural. That's just wild. I heard even-
It's just not
Even-
natural. It's
No,
abomination.
even blue roses. Even blue roses, I've heard are natural, right? They dye them or something.
Okay.
Or am I crazy?
Well, he's
Well,
this is
this is-
Photoshop. Like
This is
These-
the gayest thing I've seen all week, and I'm so glad you shared it from the great country of England. So glad.
Merry
you
old
know
England,
this
Tulip.
exists.
Would you like some of our gay roses, love? Yeah, would you
We
like
don't
a gay rose,
discriminate.
governor?
Hey, whatever you're into.
Mhm.
Actually, that's like, I can see how some people would think it's pretty. Some girls would be like, "Oh, so pretty and rainbow."
Oh my god, that's so beautiful.
Oh God, yeah. Not
Tie
me.
dye. It feels like it could be cool in
Blah.
theory, but yeah. I don't know.
I have
Those are
a
tie-dye
tie-dye
windows,
shirt.
those.
I have a wonderful
Yeah.
tie-dye shirt my sister made for me. It's pink and yellow, my favorite.
There's a
color
long
combination.
tradition of dirty hippies, like the right wing hippies is like what that's what I want. More of those gun-toting hippies. Is that a thing?
Oh, yo, yeah, I love right-wing hippies. It's like, so I went to Eureka Springs, my favorite towns in the States. So in the States, you have like these just weird towns in the middle of nowhere, and you'll find places where bikers and hippies coexist in perfect harmony, and those are my favorite places ever. And when I went to visit RJ in Eureka Springs, it was just like that. So it was like old school hippies with a bunch of tough guy bikers, and they're like, you've got gun toting right next to like rainbow shirts, and it's perfect. I love it.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
we're gonna
Vaughn wants us. I'm surprised Vaughn wants us to have sex with hippies.
Why would you wish that upon us? That yeah,
No, that's what
like
he said. He
old
said,
school.
"Fuck hippies." So okay.
Oh, yeah. Why would you wish that upon us, Fawn? How dare you? No, old school hippies are cool. It's the young ones that are like millennials that are lame. Now Vaughn wants to fuck you.
I think it's mainly the internet version of lots of things are lame, and then you meet people in real life who are actually chill, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just the terminally online sect of everything that goes full.
No, I've met real hippies that are my age, and they're a fucking pain in the ass. Lazy
Yeah.
layabouts who don't do anything.
Oh,
You know what they say
the
about
old
the
ones aren't like
60s?
that.
They say
Maybe.
if you remember the 60s, you weren't there.
Because if
What?
you were there, you would have been on so many drugs you wouldn't be able to remember it. That's the
Right.
Yes.
Vaughn with all the hippie hate. God damn. I would like
No
to
hip-
differentiate between old hippies and millennial hippies. It's
Keep the
actually
hate
a
rolling,
stark
Vaughn.
difference. Stark difference. I'm drinking tea today. Look at this. I'm trying to not over caffeinate myself. I'm so proud of me.
What are your other drinks though? Because we know you got many.
yeah, we know you have a whole fucking. what is it
Well,
called?
I
Like a
have
trolley.
water. I actually got rid of a few right before the show. And then I have a tiny bit of alcohol. This is all I have left. Look at this. I've been working away
nice.
at this for months. This is all gone.
I emptied my Jack Daniels. Is it cinnamon liqueur? But I have another bottle, but it's by my bed.
Ooh.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just sit in bed
Drinking from the bottle, lying in bed, watching YouTube videos whilst drinking cinnamon
That's what we
liqueur.
all do. That's what we all do.
Where the fuck
No, I
is
don't-
Phil?
Showering for the 5th time today.
Phil should, genuinely, Phil should set up a camera in his shower, not in a way where you can see his, thing, or even
I would.
the lower.
I don't want even a chance of that happening. Like, let's do no camera. Like, what if that thing slips? Please.
You would be wearing
No.
underwear just in case. It would be all acted out. It wouldn't be a real shower.
Yeah, there needs to
Well,
be more
then that would be
shower
funny.
streams. Someone was
Oh
saying
my
they
God.
want to watch Columbo in the shower. I was like, oh, that's the future. That's the future.
Oh, I want to watch TV in the shower. Oh my god, you reminded me when I was a little kid, when I was a fucking kid, and this is when we didn't have like a million screens everywhere or games on your phone. I remember once. Why did I do this? I got an extension cable and I moved my TV and my games console to the bathroom so I could play video games on the toilet.
Holy fucking shit. Oh my god.
I played video game. I played fucking GameCube on the toilet as a kid.
Oh my god.
That was a metaphor for your future in a bad way. You sealed your fate.
I was a pioneer. Everyone was only 10 years Later, people will be playing Angry Birds on the toilet. But no, I decided I was going to play Simpsons Hit and Run for like 5 minutes.
My God.
It was great.
Oh, I don't think I've done anything that crazy. No.
You would not even be on the toilet for very long. Why would you put all that effort in? Why would you plan? You don't really plan ahead to go to the toilet.
Your heart's in the right place. The idea of having like the most fulfilling toilet experience. I can see that.
But you've made me kind of want to have a TV.
Yeah. Well, you know what the
nearby
problem
the
is?
shower. Go on.
Like if you put like, I don't even like taking my phone to the toilet. It's like a bad habit, although I do that. But if you get sucked down a rabbit hole or whatever, you'll be on the toilet longer than you think you should be. And then one of your legs goes dead and then you're stuck. It's like a vicious cycle. Rini, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Thanks for reminding me of that pain. Yes, it's very annoying to sit on the toilet for too long.
I'm glad everyone else gets pins and needles on the toilet because I thought that was like a health issue for me. So it's kind of cleared things up. So thanks, guys.
No, I have one
this
leg
was all
that
a
even
ruse
if I'm
by Jake to get us to admit that.
like even if I'm driving for too long, I have like one thigh that gets numb, and I'm like, I feel like I'm getting old. Because it didn't start happening until I turned 30. And I'm like,
this is probably really fucking boring conversation topic, but I realize a similar pain I get when in my car. Like, I would drive for 3 hours, and I realized that my side would hurt after like an hour, and I'd be like, man, is my back just crippled? But I realize it's because you're holding your arms up on the steering wheel, and if you just like rest them against you and just like drive it like that, that's great.
Nice.
It doesn't hurt.
Oh, nice. See, you're making progress. We live and learn. You know, Snarktagon says, I fell asleep on a toilet once for 2 hours. That reminds me, Elvis Presley died on a toilet. I'd like to know those numbers. Yeah. He like had a stroke from pushing too hard or something.
Most people, so a lot of people die on the toilet, and I think it gets underreported because they don't want everyone to know that their fucking grandma died on the toilet. So it's like there's overexertion on the toilet that knocks out a lot of old people, but there is also when they get up too fast and the blood rushes out of their brain and then they fall over and whack their head. There's a lot of hard porcelain objects in the bathroom. Getting up too quick and overexerting, then getting up too quick, then smacking your head. From my point of view, I think most old people die of this, but no one says anything.
Yeah, because they say they fall in the shower, and that's like a whole shower handle installation racket. So they're installing those, but really what's happening is they're standing up, blacking out, and then falling over after sitting for too long.
They need the toilet handle. There we go. We need to corner the market on toilet handle.
I think this is a little bit of like a rabbit hole kind of thing that.
I'm so glad that we're solving the world's problems of figuring out how to stop old people from dying on the toilet.
Wait, we should actually.
It's an epidemic.
I don't believe in overpopulation, but in order to fight that fake narrative about overpopulation, we could start a hate campaign against shower handles.
Yeah. Shower handles are. What's it called? They're redundant. That's like the British word.
We could say that they all have black mold in them. Like when people say you can't have rubber ducks because they have like black mold on the inside because they're never truly dry. We could start a myth that shower handles are full of black mold and they're killing old people. Then all the old people remove those shower handles. Then more of them slip in the shower. You know, really taking the cream off the top of the population problem that doesn't exist.
I think Phil might be another half hour late, so maybe we should start now.
Let's just get started.
PowerPoint. Phil can come in halfway.
God damn it, Phil. Well, okay. Explain what a Deus Ex Machina even is.
Okay. Is it? I think I have it explained maybe on the next. Let's see if I can just keep from tropes.com.
Dale A. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to say, Dale A. Yes. That's all I wanted to say. The answer is yes. Okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. From tropes.com, the term is Latin for God out of the machine. Oh, it's already getting into some spicy stuff that I wrote. So this is from tropes. Yeah. God out of the machine, which just take a moment and think about that term. Latin term is awesome. I must say. God, it reminds you of Ghost in the Shell, or something like that.
But what does that even mean?
God out of the machine. and it says, and it originates in ancient Greek theater. I'm not even sure I believe that. We'll see. We'll get into this like stuff, but because this is like WikiLeaks, and you can't trust this stuff. But it's just like someone says it, and everyone repeats it. But they say it originates in ancient Greek theater. It referred to scenes in which a crane, the machine, I call bullshit on that too, was used to lower actors or statues playing a god or gods, the Deus or the Deus, onto the stage to set things right, often near the end of the play. So, yeah. So I'm already I'm already being like opinionated. But what's it called if you're editorializing?
Skeptical. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't even know that's where it fucking came from. Did they used to just actually have characters that would come down like Magic Fairy said, well, these are all the problems, but here I'm going to set everything right again because we haven't learned how to write endings yet.
Yeah, maybe. Plays weren't maybe the greatest back in the day. But the thing too, what its actual application is like, it's kind of like a coincidence thing or like a lack of a setup kind of thing if it's out of the blue. And we'll get into some of that. But yeah, for the crane, calling the crane a machine, like that's like a possible way to translate it or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's like incorrect. Like the machine is like the machinations of the story. Like like even what do I say is what's the type of Rube Goldberg machine is like a story. Like, so machine, we use that word for like story-esque type stuff a lot. And I think it was like that back in the day too. So machine meant the story, I think. And God coming from the story is like a cooler way. Like it's already cooler rather than God coming from a crane, like a stupid old crane that lowers him down, like a very specific weird thing that I'm just very skeptical of. But it definitely feels more natural that if God coming from the machinations of the story, I think that's like a real thing that can happen. And we'll get into that. But the basics is like why it can even be like kind of a cool thing is like just the power level of your world. Like it means your main character is not the center of the universe. Like just that alone is like kind of a cool thing. But there's pros and cons, obviously. So the main thing of why people say it's bad is because of the coincidences, and we can get into some examples. But the examples do like get there. It gets funny because a lot of the examples are just jokes or some lamp shading, some meta stuff, and then a lot of examples are like classic movies. So I'm like, okay, these movies that are like really good, they're saying that they use the Deus Ex Machina. It's a little bit hard actually to think of examples that aren't jokes that are bad. There's like, that's the hardest thing that I've thought of a few and I list them, but we can find them later. But yeah, go for the story. Yep. And coincidences to get characters into trouble are great. Coincidences to get them out of it are cheating. That would be like the basic rule that kind of relates to like Deus Ex Machina. Plot convenience can kill a story. Often Deus Ex Machina refers to this, but if you actually look at examples, it gets more complicated. There are literal applications with God or a godlike power literally entering the story in some way. And there are loose applications where it's just a more general plot convenience and or godlike power intervening on behalf of plot conveniences it's more just felt as the hand of the writer in that case rather than God. Those are kind of the two ends of the spectrum. And then from Snopes, go ahead.
Oh, there's more definitions. No, I was just going to start extrapolating. I think that kind of makes sense. It feels like it breaks immersion because instead of something logically being built up to get a character out of a bad situation, it's like the hand of the writer or some supernatural force just takes out the problem. That's why people don't like it.
Yeah. So, and the whole meat of it is with the examples. That's where it gets kind of weird. That's like the basic of my argument, basically. So when we get to that, you'll see, but we'll go over some of them and we can kind of like argue or debate. Like one, for example, is like Raiders of the Lost Ark that has like a Deus Ex Machina ending. And then the question, like, is that okay or not? Because that's a classic movie, But the rule from Snopes, apparent Deus Ex Machina also happen plenty in real life, given reality is far more complex and random than most fictionalized versions of it. So this is like a kind of a point towards it. Like reality is not like a beautifully put together story. And the messiness of reality is kind of cool. So you can go for that. Like, so the Deus Ex Machina can actually simulate in some ways more like the way reality can go. The concept eventually came back into vogue during the early years of the film industry, thanks to the Hays Code. Villains and anyone else who didn't toe the moral line were absolutely not allowed to get away with their crimes. But more often than not, evil is cool, which sets its own trope. The solution was to let the bad guy be awesome for the duration of the movie, then drop a bridge on them in the last 5 minutes, which is like kind of funny. That's like another example where I'm like, is that bad though? That's like kind of hilarious.
Is that one of the classic villain deaths now? Because I remember falling down a shaft is like a classic villain death, but is a bridge falling on them? Does that go enough? A giant
I don't know. But actually, yeah, you can imagine that it would be kind of unsatisfactory if the villain literally gets away with it and then like falls down an elevator shaft. You'd be like, what? But I don't know what the specific examples are. I know this is like some of Hitchcock's movies had to do this, but I don't remember which ones. So the examples of the godlike power, how it can rear itself as a Deus Ex Machina, is the chaos and the probabilities of life. So here's some examples, and these are like examples that are like good movies, so it's kind of crazy. But an example of that is Saving Private Ryan. Thematic power and irony is an example of Saving Private Ryan. And real fast, people don't remember Saving Private Ryan. They're totally screwed. They're trying to defend a bridge. They totally can't do it. They all are getting murdered, and then at the end, an airstrike saves them. But there is like some like nuance of where is some tragedy aspects of it, because Tom Hanks's character, he basically gets fatally wounded right before the airstrike hits. So it's a little bit of that tragic, like, oh, if the airstrike would have just come like 10 seconds earlier, he would be alive. But that it is like Saving Private Ryan, or Private Ryan, all his buddies live because the airstrike just kind of comes out of nowhere and saves them. But that, or
I wouldn't call that
on the classic structure, all that has to happen is a price has to be paid. Like like a character's death just before they got saved, that is like a psychological price. Like that would stick with you afterwards. You know what I mean? Knowing that
I
they could have
wouldn't
been
call
saved.
that a Deus Ex Machina because he does die. If the air raid happened and everybody was saved and everything is fine, then that would be Deus Ex Machina.
Plus, that's a film in a setting where like that could have plausibly happened.
Right.
I mean? Like,
it's sort of, if it stretches believability, I think the problem at the end of the day is breaking immersion. Like, you can have stuff happen and save the characters, but as long as either it's set up or it's plausible within the setup of the world, then it's not really a problem. And especially if there's a price that was paid for it to happen. But if it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like okay, if you go back to what it originally means, God from the machine, literally an angel, a godlike being coming down from the top of the stage. And I know you don't like that it came from that, but I actually personally think it would be fucking awesome if that's what it literally was. And then everyone has to kind of like editorialize it so they feel good about using the phrase, because they just can't be referencing a crane dropping someone down with angel wings and saying everything is better now. But like, that is almost like a supernatural event. Like, that character wouldn't even exist in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is literally like editor's note at the bottom, and then everything was fine. Do you know what I mean? Whereas an airstrike is like something believable in the world of that story, potentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like there's a little bit, this is one more thing that comes up. It's from tropes, is it's called only the author can save them now trope, which is like kind of the same but just a little different. So it goes, making your villains a credible threat to your heroes is what makes any conflict interesting. In some series, most notably science fiction and high fantasy, it may even be necessary for your villain to be a threat to the entire world. A powerful villain and flawed heroes will make for a good story, so it stands to reason that in a lot of stories, the villain is more powerful than the heroes in some capacity, but there is a balance to it. Eventually, the villain can be so many orders of magnitude above the heroes that there's absolutely no chance for them to win with any of the capabilities we know them to have. We all know what's coming, a Deus Ex Machina. The heroes aren't going to save themselves. The author is going to save them. So like it's still a little bit like that. I get this one like kind of just has the nuance where it's like good and works, but because of the sacrifice and because it's kind of it's like within the realm of reality. But it is the one like way that God and reality overlap is with chaos of like probabilities, and the fact that it would happen at the moment when it did. That actually the sense of irony. That's something that comes up in a lot of these is like you're allowed to use the Deus Ex Machina if it's thematically like poignant or ironic, it kind of in some way. And,
I don't. I think we probably differ on our definition Deus Ex Machina if you think the instance of Saving Private Ryan counts, because the Mist did the same thing too, right? Like spoilers, he shoots everybody and then the troops come in and save them at the end, and he didn't need to like kill, his kid at the end of the movie. So is that a Deus Ex Machina because he is saved, even though it wasn't really a sacrifice, but it's an irony. And I didn't view it as Deus Ex Machina because it's plausible in the world. And a guy in his room says, I don't consider another character coming in and saving people an example of this. Right, as long as it's not completely, as long as it's believable in the world, like the military roll in and save people in both of these examples we gave, which is what they do, so it's believable.
Well, even in that second example you just gave, a heavy price gets paid just before they get saved too. Like he has to kill people he doesn't want to kill, right?
More the point, yeah.
Yes.
I like Snotticon's example. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The animator suffers a fatal heart attack and dies. Thus, the knights are saved. And the Black Beast of like in comedy, you can just do whatever. You can break it and have fun with it. That's like, do you remember that bit?
yeah. That's one where like it's all a lot of the examples are like comedies, and where it's like legit a good example or whatever.
Richard Kennel has a good point. Sorry, if he said Hitler appeared, gave Hanks a life restoration potion. Right, if someone just brought Tom Hanks back to life and everything was fine and his death didn't mean anything, then that would have been a Deus Ex Machina, I think.
Yeah.
God, you can even add more weight to the price that's paid afterwards. Like after you could have a scene much later where it's like his funeral and his like wife has already brought like a new partner to the funeral too. That'd be like salt in the like it would add weight to he didn't need to die. His wife didn't need to find someone else and bring him to the funeral. That didn't happen in it, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adding weight sacrifice later by twisting the knife post the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, I think so. I think I know what you're saying. So I don't mind saying that this one isn't an example, but this one has some of the overlap at least. So moving on is Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's a little more like literal. And we can maybe discuss that one later, because I was telling my mom about this idea for a video and I mentioned Raiders of the Lost Ark, and she's like, yeah, I kind of thought that ending was unsatisfying. And I was like, okay, well, see, that would support the idea that Deus Ex Machinas are bad. But I kind of would try and defend that ending a little bit. Like, I think the ending's kind of cool.
Is that when they open it up and they all melt?
Yeah. But we can talk about that a little later. So Actual God Mysterious in 2001 A Space Odyssey. That's another example where it's a little more literal, like a godlike force just coming in and effing everything up, but you kind of almost don't even know what's happening. And that is super awesome. To get into that a little later. Actual God Curious being Pulp Fiction. That's we don't need to get into that, but that's like a weird one. And then one example, it's like a godlike force in a lot of stories is the weather. And I don't know if there's an example where the weather, like if there was a movie like where it's about like a storm that's like effing everyone and they're all barely surviving, and then at the end the storm just ends, so the story's over, so a few people survive or whatever. It's it's like that kind of thing. It like has to in that case. Like so some of these overlap with like reality. Like that would still be kind of a good story. But yeah, you'd want to hit like some of these extra nuances to make it not unsatisfying. So yeah, this is the one talking like specifically about the author saving people, and this one is where the examples are like a character at the last second swooping in and saving someone, and people be like, "What? That was like testing my convenience, my ability to handle convenience in a story." And it's gets a little bit less from like the godlike power stuff, but it kind of similar with the convenient stuff.
Yeah, if you had a storm and it was like on a boat, but then like most people died on the boat and it was like just one guy left and then the storm cleared. And like maybe just moments before that the storm had cleared, like he was just holding on to one of his other friends who was like dangling off the end of the boat and he just like couldn't at the last minute. And then not long after that, they get into like clear water.
I mean, that has happened in reality, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Deus Ex Machina, it has some overlap with how reality works, where it's not all like kind of the storytelling thing. But so here, examples of godlike power. Many of the examples are either jokes or meta lampshading, and the examples that aren't jokes can be cool. So the meta examples are Adam West, Batman, and Robin. Like there's one where they're like hanging over a water tank with sharks, and Batman's like, "Luckily, Robin, help me reach my shark repellent spray." And so he happens to have shark repellent spray or whatever. And Monty Python, Woody Allen, Mel Brooks, they're like the classic comedians of like the 70s. They all did a lot of Deus Ex Machina, and they usually would make a joke of it, kind of bringing attention to it or whatever. But so if you get at some of these examples, this is where it's kind of funny, is like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan is like maybe not, but those three are all Steven Spielberg. So he did 3 movies that kind of have these elements. Jurassic Park is like a super interesting one. It's this moment.
Oh, yeah.
But 2001: A Space Odyssey, Donnie Darko, that's kind of, in Mulholland Drive are like kind of maybe, but these are like the way it gives you access to the abstraction, the expressionist, and the thematic kind of powers is like pretty valuable. But yeah, so the Jurassic Park one is pretty interesting because they're all going to get murdered by the velociraptors, and then the T-Rex saves them at the last second, and you get this moment. And this is a kind of an example where I'm pretty sure this is like awesome. Like it's like really good writing. And yeah, they got conveniently saved, but it's like so thematic. It feels like
such
God.
an awesome moment. You felt really fucking good in that moment, even especially as a kid. Like
and it feels like a godlike power. You know, like this is the power of nature, just like freaking the chaos of it. And yeah, they're nothing compared to it. Like so they get out of there kind of. So that framing of making them like they're just dust specks in the universe compared to the power of like nature is like really cool.
Do you
and
think maybe maybe that feel goodness that's derived from, well, how is it set up? As in, if it's set up that the conflict itself is another person, like if the story is, we talk about how stories can be character versus themselves, character versus character, or character versus nature, right? So if it's a force that we're already expecting the characters to not be able to really fight, but the story is just about the characters dealing with the problem, kind of like how Walking Dead was doing that again, and Jurassic Park was kind of like that as well. It was just about these characters surviving and a psychological exploration of how they get through this. Then if something almost supernatural swoops in to save them, it can actually make you feel good. It doesn't break your immersion.
The Jurassic Park one is kind of perfect because it is actually really well set up. I mean, if you go back to your interactivity theory of how to write story, you create elements, you throw them in a certain direction, and you basically, the reader knows the audience knows they will collide, but they don't know how they're going to collide, right? And you got these 2 spinning plates and you're waiting for them to crash together, right? So in Jurassic Park, you set up the velociraptors and you're like, these guys are like deadly motherfuckers, and you've set up the T-Rex as like, and both of those elements are like really strong fucking objects that you are constantly moving towards in a direction, right, throughout the whole story. And then when those two finally crash together, that's a really warm moment.
Yeah,
It is
but I
also
don't know
set
if it,
up, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was set up in that way. Like it's not set up like the T-Rex hates velociraptors and wants to fight him. The velociraptors hate the T-Rex and want to fight him. It's like the viewers are shipping them in their head, or like the opposite of shipping. They're like, you're thinking like, oh man, wouldn't it be fucking cool if a T-Rex and a velociraptor fought? And then they do give you that moment, but there's almost like they just know that you're thinking that, or they know that once they do it, you'll be like, you know what, I wasn't thinking that, but that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah. I wasn't when as a kid. I wasn't thinking of seeing any of them fight ever, because I don't think if any point during the film before that you ever saw a dinosaur fighting another dinosaur. Oh no, you saw the T-Rex eating the Gallimimus horde.
yeah,
I'm just thinking, is there how many moments of dino versus dino were there? Because there was a lot of dinosaur versus human.
There weren't that many dino versus dino. Might have just been that one instance.
yeah. What's up?
Wow, look who
Look who
made
is.
it. Hello. Phil, you're fired. Try to say you're fired.
Freshly showered.
No, I didn't shower.
Oh,
It's
well,
my
you must
father's
be.
birthday tonight,
Oh,
so I went
Happy
to have
birthday.
some pizza.
so
Nice.
sad.
What's
Does
up?
that make
Where's
him a
Narwhal?
Does that make him a Pisces?
This is me.
What?
I'm a
Jay.
cartoon.
He had a plastic surgery to turn him into a cartoon character. Now he gets to date VTubers.
Now he is a VTuber.
Yes,
Yeah.
you join the ranks of Dean.
It's just a
you and
little
Dean.
ghost blob, bop, bop, bop. Wait, Narwhal,
Yeah.
you have to wait to like, yop, yop,
Yeah. Ba,
yop,
ba.
yop,
You-
yop.
it reminds me.
ba.
Do you guys remember
That's so
Homestar
cute.
Runner? It reminds me of Homestar Runner. You guys remember
Oh yeah.
old internet?
Nice.
I do.
Nice.
Homestar.
Didn't he talk like this?
No, that was one
Strong
of the
bad.
Yeah,
That
strong
was fucking
bad.
strong bad. Oh,
So-
okay.
We're talking Deus Ex Machina, Phil.
Awesome.
Do
Let's.
you know what? You probably know what that is. You know,
Yeah.
or want me to reread it or whatever?
No, yeah. I know what it is.
Son of
The was it the God machine?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's catch Phil up.
No,
So
I
when
know
all
Tell me how it could be used well. Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's kind of where we're at. We're getting into the meat of the presentation now, because a lot of it was going over like Snopes.com definitions and stuff. But now we're going over some examples where you're like, wait a minute, that movie's awesome, and this moment is actually awesome. The kind of one that seems like sort of like obvious, or was like, yeah, is the T-Rex swooping in and saving everyone in Jurassic Park.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is like, what's cool is this is and can be felt like thematically like a godlike force. So this is almost like literally a Deus Ex Machina. And I think they're aware of that. Like, I think they know what they're doing. Like they want, and this is the one pro that I've kind of been sitting on, is like, if you do use the Deus Ex Machina, meaning like an actual godlike force in your story, one nice thing about it is just the way the scale of importance of the universe and the world building. It means your characters become insignificant. It's like, it kind of humbles them, you know, and that's like a cool feeling, where your characters aren't the center of the universe anymore. They aren't so special. They could get snuffed out and stomped and murdered by any of these crazy forces that are much larger than them. So telling a story like in that world, it kind of makes these things possible. But anytime you use it, it's going to be a little bit of an element of convenience, unless it's just your characters all get murdered and, you know, like they all just freaking die super easily. You know, that if they survive, it's going to be convenient.
If we try and abstract it, we can think of new example scenarios and see if they actually feel good. So imagine there's like a nuclear reactor about to explode, and there's people trying to fix it. And then in the meantime, there's like a giant tidal wave coming, and it's also going to drown everyone. Those are two godlike forces. And then the Deus Ex Machina could be the tidal wave hits the nuclear power plant and cools it down.
That could be an okay, like 2-page thing. I think that's meta though. Like some of these, if they're like so on the nose, they just automatically get meta. They're like, because like this is almost meta, because you almost know that they know. It's like they're almost winking at you. And And so another example, real quick, let's talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark. For one, if you guys have seen it, do you remember being a little annoyed at that ending or thinking it was awesome? Because it's kind of pros and cons. Like it's definitely a Deus Ex Machina ending.
Was the first one?
Yeah. So like what happens is like Indiana Jones actually gets kidnapped at the end. So he's actually tied up with the main girl. They're tied to a post.
Mhm.
They're totally screwed. They're totally going to get killed or whatever. But the Nazis don't kill him first. They tie them up while they open the ark and kind of perform this little ritual. But when they open the ark, then the ghost starts spinning out of the ark, and Indy yells at the girl, "Close your eyes! Don't look at it!" Whatever her name is, I forget. But so they close their eyes, and the ghosts melt the faces of all the Nazis, and that's kind of the end.
But so in a way, in that ending, though, Indy's knowledge prevented him from being melted, and his resistance to temptation to look at it, in a sense, plays into him surviving that moment, right?
Yeah, but that isn't set up really. They do set up a little bit that he's skeptical in the beginning of the movie, and at the end. But it's funny, like him closing his eyes is almost him still being skeptical. Like I don't know. It's like, but at the end, he witnesses some actual supernatural occurrence. Is like a little bit of, if there is like an arc for him. That's like that movie is not about like his arc. It's it's like a James Bond movie. But yeah, that's another one where he becomes a dust speck in the universe, and it's kind of cool to have your like main guy just be like, oh shit, he's like my favorite dude, but he's nobody compared to like these powers.
Have the examples you've done so far, have all of them been really warm moments, like really emotional payoffs, like that huge special effects sequence at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, that I guess was like revolutionary for the time. Like seeing a T-Rex fight a fucking Velociraptor and then seeing a massive airstrike. Like there are actually huge payoffs, right? Like visually.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're super climactic and crazy. Like this is like, say you were Steven Spielberg and Lawrence Kasdan was the writer of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lawrence Kasdan is like a kind of famous writer, sort of known for being like the best writer almost. Like I think he wrote The Empire Strikes Back too, and a handful of other like awesome movies and stuff. So he's like a great writer. And they would have been like, all right, we have one problem with the script. The end is a Deus Ex Machina ending. Let's rewrite it and change it so that Indy sneaks in, kills all the Nazis, and saves her. And then he's the one doing everything, so they get out of there. The end. Like that would make it worse. Like oddly, just in that one case, like having the God power climax with those visuals, melting faces. It's so the word that you're saying with warm. What is it? It's shit. What's it called? If something like it's built up so much, and then you get kind of like climax is like the word, but I'm trying to think of something
Crescendos.
Blue ball?
Yeah.
The opposite of blue balls. You get the money shot. You get the money shot.
Yeah.
It's a pressure release from the climax.
Yeah.
Or from the crescendo, I should say.
Weird.
Yeah.
I think you might be onto something. If it's believable in the world, it's not literally just like the hand of the writer coming in. And if it's played like a big emotional release, then I don't know. I don't know if that's defined as Deus Ex Machina, but you could have something swoop in and save the day, but as long as it's emotionally fulfilling, then it could work. People won't feel like they're robbed.
It's literally a
it's
release in Raiders of the Lost Ark too.
Right. Because I haven't seen the movie, which is why I haven't been saying anything. But in I think when I think of Deus Ex Machinas, it's not just something swooping in and fixing the problem, but it's fixing the problem and having no consequences, no payoff. And I think that's important. So if there have been consequences and there is a payoff, like the bad guys still get their comeuppance, and there's like you get this emotional moment of everything is fine, but also we see like a big battle and there's effort put into it, and even if it is there's somebody swoops in at the end, it doesn't feel like cheap writing, which is I think the problem most people assume with this trope.
Yeah,
like I'm throwing all of those elements together in my head, and I'm imagining like some movie like like you're in space, like a Sunshine style thing, and there's like a bunch of aliens on your ship, and the only thing that a guy can do is like hold the window blind open. But holding it open is like the force of God, like the sun could like burn all the aliens, similar to like blasting them out of an airlock. But whilst doing it, his arms are getting burnt off, but he has to hold it. So that's the price he's paying. It's still a godlike force correcting everything and wiping out the other godlike force. It's almost like two gods colliding in these moments.
Well, it's he's still doing something. He's still paying a price and doing something. So I think a lot of stories have like a huge, if you have a huge battle at the end with a lot of huge superpowers, and just because a godlike force is involved doesn't mean it's a Deus Ex Machina. If it's set up and there's a price that's paid, then it's not.
Yeah, I think that's the way to get around it is set up things. But I mean, the things you bring up, Narwhal, like the dinosaur and stuff, that totally works. And I think the only really setup for that is when they're getting chased by the T-Rex. That establishes that character exists in there.
Yeah.
That's
it's a leap to really consider it a setup. That's a side thing, because even setups themselves in certain cases can have like pros and cons to them, because in that case, if it was set up, that would almost be worse. The fact that it's not set up is better, because the audience is like already thinking it in their head, but it takes the writers to like know that, to like plan that. They're gonna just be like, oh shit, I was hoping this might happen, and it did, and it was told they didn't even set it up.
The Jurassic Park moment, if that was set up, that would be super lame. If they were like going through the gantries, being chased by the Velociraptors, and they saw the T-Rex nearby, and then said, "We got to go in this direction," and then went towards the T-Rex in order to lure them, the Velociraptors there. Then that moment happened. That really would have been so much lamer. For one, it would have taken away. Like, if they had chance to even think to plan something whilst running away from the Velociraptors, like the fact that they haven't got a second to think adds to the danger of them as a creature. Like, they're so terrifying, they can't even think. All they can do is run, right? So if they were guiding them, that would have made the Velociraptors seem less dangerous. And also, if they were running towards a T-Rex, that would have made the T-Rex seem less imposing too. Like, it would have actually neutered the threat of both of those godlike forces.
Real quick, 2001 is just an all-time classic, and I don't know, that's when it's kind of weird. I kind of think it is a Deus Ex Machina ending, but I don't know if that one's like nuanced or gray also. But it is, when I started looking at examples, that was the whole reason I kind of had this idea in the first place, where I was like, wait a minute, a lot of these movies that they claim are doing this are like some of the best movies of all time, and there are definitely examples where it's terrible too, whatever. So I'm like, well, that's at least worth looking at. But Donnie Darko is an interesting one, because so that one he does pay a price, so we've kind of established this might not fully count as a Deus Ex Machina, but in that one it's funny because there's two versions. There's the director's cut and the original movie, and in the original movie it's totally not explained at all, which is kind of cool. There's not really any setup. So that's all Deus Ex Machina, except he gets to magically travel back in time to the beginning, where then he then sacrifices himself to die at that point, and that ends up saving the girl, because then none of the things that happened that led to the girl dying would then take place. So that's like his like sort of gesture at the end. They don't even explain how he does it or who helps him, but it is like a godlike power playing out. He dies and the girl lives, and it's like really cool. But then it's funny, they did in the director's cut, they like explained it, and it was just so terrible. But they explained that it was, they explained that it's like aliens from the future are like playing puppet master, and then somehow it's not even Donnie doing it, it's they want him.
So lame.
That is dumb.
Yeah, and I guess that's even more in some ways like Deus Ex Machina. The crappy.
Did you explain where the term comes from?
It's Latin, and they say it comes from Greek plays, which I'm a little skeptical of. But
I feel like
it means God out of the machine.
Right. I feel like that probably is where the original phrasing comes from, but then that was taken and rearranged to be what this is now, you know.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it
like
probably
more of a modern concept.
right.
Yeah.
The original concept had nothing to do with this trope. And it was just a cool phrase that they're like, oh, that's cool. Why don't you put that to this?
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
So see what the next slide is. Examples of godlike power, more blatant convenience, but still cool. Lord of the Rings, Frodo versus the Race, Aragorn, Ghost Army. These are to be examples of just getting saved at the last second. But
Yeah,
how
that
do you
Ghost
guys
Armor
feel
was
about
pretty
that?
cool, though.
Yeah. Like Irene, what do you think about those two from Lord of the Rings? Are those cool, or do you sense the convenience and it annoys you, or is it the same in the books? I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those
No.
two examples.
I do know. So it's when Frodo fights a race and he puts the ring on, and then with the army of the Oathbreakers, right?
Yeah.
If Frodo has
Yeah,
to
but
put the
the
ring
ar-
on to
well-
escape the race, he's paying a price because he's falling to the ring more, right? Because he had
Also-
to put it on.
Right, both of those things were set up. Well, just because something strong, I think that there's must be a misunderstanding here. There's some things that definitely are Deus Ex Machina, but just because something strong comes in and saves the day doesn't mean it's a Deus Ex Machina. In both of those instances, there was a setup. What the ring did was set up. That was planted. That the ring could take you to the this other world and make you invisible, but there was a price to pay because you could keep falling and it like destroys your soul basically. So that was set up, and he always knew he had that power. He was desperate in that moment, and that's why he put the ring on. With Aragorn and the army of Oathbreakers, that was also set up. That was always something that he could have called on, and he paid a price and went to find that army, and that tied in thematically with other parts of the story as well, because they had this historical guilt that they had to make up for. So it wasn't a Deus Ex Machina when the Oathbreakers came in and saved the day, because Aragorn, there was a whole side journey where he was like desperate and he almost couldn't get them to help him and everything. So no, it's not a Deus Ex Machina.
Okay. And Girl with the
Thanks.
Dragon Tattoo is another one where it's just convenient. Like it's sort of just like the timing. It's like, okay, I guess she did happen to get there in time to save him, because you're like, will she or won't she? Will she like actually somehow stumble and get there to stumble in to save him in time? And then she does. And you're like, okay, that honestly is a little convenient, but it's also very satisfying. That would be one, Jake, where you're saying like it's very warm. In Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, where she saves him. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like it's a moment that makes you like pump your fist. You're like, F yeah, she did it. And but it is very convenient. But so I don't think convenience is like necessarily the worst thing, is like part of this presentation. Because that's like I would have thought convenience is the worst thing you could ever do. And I thought that for a long time. I still kind of think that, but like even the Ghost Army, like them getting there in time, it is a little convenient that he happened to get there in time. I get there's a huge setup and he did all this stuff to have it happen, but they still made it in time or whatever. The way they filmed it too, it's like I do remember the last fight. It's like once they storm in, it's the most epic battle for like an hour, and then they storm in and win in like 1 minute. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's over now. And yeah, these could be considered convenience, but are nevertheless all-time classics. So yeah, it still works. It's funny, even as I was writing this, even what's it called? Power Rangers. They always have. I don't know if it's Deus Ex Machina, but at the end they always power up, become the Megazord, and then win in one attack. And
Yeah.
and you always know it's coming, and it's like it just ends the episode.
But it's warm. It's
it
really
is like
warm.
it's badass. I think kids are waiting for it. Kids are like just but I did think when I was a kid, I was like, why don't they just do that in the beginning of the fight? Why do they wait to the end?
Yeah, it's like almost like the whole episode is just building up to that moment. You're like, come on, please get there. And then if they didn't do that, it would almost be disappointing.
Yeah, that's what's funny about some of these. It's like if you imagine being in the writer's room or something, and you're like, it's a Deus Ex Machina, so let's like fix it, let's change it. It's like any change kind of would make it worse in a way.
Yeah, if a Connell story didn't end up in a massive shape-shifted transformation being the thing that defeats the final enemy. That would probably be disappointing every time.
Well, that's
right?
also comedy breaks every rule. So
Yeah.
very. I mean, it's not like it's easy to do, but it does have leeway. A guy in his room asked, "Did Berserk ever have any of these?" And I will pronounce it right from now on. Deus ex machina. Excuse me.
Deuce. Deuce.
Deus. Deus. English hard. Actually, I think yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say one of the things that annoys me about Berserk. Okay, I'm gonna actually criticize Berserk. Hold your breath. But I mean, I have done it before where I bitch about Casca all the time. I don't think Casca is a good character. But anyways, so there's this thing in Berserk where Guts is like he's said by like Skull Knight and a bunch of other characters, oh, he can change causality. Basically, he has some kind of weird fate thing tied to him, and he can struggle against fate, and he's like different from other people. It's just kind of fucking annoying. And the way that the eclipse played out, where only him and Casca and technically Rickard, of course, survived, kind of annoyed me. That did feel kind of like a Deus Ex Machina, especially Casca surviving. Now, for storytelling reasons, I understood why it needed to happen, why Casca needed to survive as well. But technically speaking, if I were to do it, I would have had at least one or two other people survive, but also be potatoes, because it just became ridiculously unbelievable that it was just Guts and Casca. And yes, they were saved by Skull Knight, but it was kind of like, well, everybody else was just there to be sacrificed. It didn't matter as much. And Guts is just special little flower that is going to be plucked out of there. That annoyed me.
But a price got paid. A price got paid, and it did get set up, and it was a warm moment.
Yeah, but also it's like literally a Deus Ex Machina too. Like it's literally like guy coming down actually on a crane that time. Like
yeah, I actually don't think the setup was strong enough for him and Casca to be the sole survivor.
Yeah, you know what? On that one, actually, a lot of the setup comes after the fact. Then it's like,
exactly.
You read the whole story, then you're like, okay, it is badass that's the moment.
I remember that. Yeah.
When Skull Knight, was Skull Knight following him around? Skull Knight fighting Guts' dad, whatever the beast was called. What's the beast called?
Nosferatu Zod.
Huh?
Yeah, Nosferatu Zod, who's totally Guts' dad.
Guts' dad?
Yes, you'll see.
That's the theory you're going with. Okay.
That's my theory. Which is why he's so freaking strong. And so when they're fighting outside, did you not preempt that if Skull Knight won that fight, that he would come in and save him? Like, that's what I mean about setup for that moment.
I did. It annoys me that, first of all, he saved Casca as well. Why? So it's either he only saves Guts, or he has to save more than just Guts and Casca. You get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, why did he save Casca? That was my problem. My problem isn't that Skull Knight
convenience to give birth to the... Yeah.
Again, it all ties to Casca, because everything about her is a plot convenience, and she's just there to be a plot device.
Oh, yeah. That kind of makes sense. That's where it would shift to more the writer's hand rather than a godly force. And if it's the writer's hand, that's kind of negative. If it's a godly force, that's like, usually that can be cool still.
Wait,
Michael Ducey says, this is one thing, because what's the difference between Deus Ex Machina, unexpected plot twist? One thing is, if it's actually a godly force in your story, that can honestly be pretty cool. But the other thing is, kind of the main thing is, if it is like if your characters are like getting helped by the godly force, that's usually feels like that would be a negative, except we're finding examples where it can still be a positive. But that's kind of the rule. The rule is you can't help them, you can only hurt them. Is the rule.
Yeah. Well, I think too that somebody who applies to this question is usually a Deus Ex Machina usually happens at the end of a story to push forward the ending, like a resolution, like this godly force or this unseen thing that is kind of thrown into the story that wasn't set up before, pushes for the ending. Whereas the plot twist could just be something unexpected that usually isn't the idea that's going to wrap up the story. There's usually more plot after the plot twist. the twist happens. It's a new
Yeah.
challenge, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there's still more plot
Actually,
to get through.
An example of that is in Apocalypto, another amazing movie. Do you guys know this one? Have seen it?
Mel
I
Gibson.
saw it at the cinema.
Yeah. And speaking of Deus Ex Machina, but it's only in the middle of the movie, which could be a little bit more like, like, does this even count or whatever? But the guy's going to get sacrificed. They like pull him up on the altar. They're going to cut out his heart. But the eclipse happens right at that moment. So they don't kill him. So he survives to live another day. And it's totally convenient, but it is God. And it's like kind of badass. It's kind of like, but the fact is, because like, oh, okay, we get to see our story. We're following the one guy who was lucky now, kind of.
Right, and that's like part of the plot, like this needed to happen for this story to happen,
Yeah, if that happened at the end and then it was like the end, he survived because the eclipse happened. Like
Right,
that would be very unsatisfying.
right,
And actually sometimes with that, because even like in the example of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, same thing. He finds the golden ticket. He just gets really lucky, but it's to start the story. And the fact that they end up winning this like good luck convenient thing that allows them to go on the journey in the first place, that ends up being like a curse almost. So you're like, oh, it's like even in the case of Apocalypto, it's like, hey, good luck, the eclipse happened, so you survived. Now you get to like get tortured even worse, and like you're gonna barely survive or whatever. So congratulations.
Yeah, it's always that's an inciting incident, and it doesn't work out in their favor.
Yeah, in the big picture, yeah. And that's kind of even like the Berserk thing is a little bit, I guess, like that. Although that's another word. It from some frames it is almost at the end of the story though. It's at the end of the golden arc, so it's kind of weird.
So to be a Deus Ex Machina, would you say it has to be a force disconnected from their struggle? Because
I think so.
I think that's
because
that's the point.
that's a funny
Good
thing
way to
too,
put
because
it.
that would make it that's a positive thing a lot of times, because if it steps outside of the self-centeredness of the characters would have, that is like kind of cool. It's like it's not all about you, buddy. It's like slap your main character and shake him like Indiana Jones. It's like, hey, guess what? It's not all about you. Freaking, there's a massive power out there that could squash you like a nut if it wanted to. You're screwed, buddy. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, if it's a power that wasn't in the story, just swoops in, it feels like the reader's investment was for nothing. Like you invested in this dynamic, this ecosystem mattering, but it's just something outside of it fixed the problem. You know what I mean?
So, okay, does this example suck? Is this a crappy Deus Ex Machina? Does it fit in the category? Like, some adventurers are fighting a giant enemy and they've struggled to try and overcome it, and they're about to get killed by it. Then a group of like well-armored adventurers come in and kill it really quickly, and then they're like, "What the fuck?" And then the other adventurers are like, "Yeah, this is like our actual quest. Like you just wanted to fight this guy randomly. We actually were given this quest and we could defeat him. Like, what are you doing here?"
Yeah,
there's like an unrelated force coming in and saving them, but I suppose it has a comedy twist, so it makes it less.
No, I can definitely see at least the positives, but overall, yeah, maybe that's a negative. But the fact that you live in a universe with the mechanizations that you can't even control, and there's a lot going on, but you're only privy to see a little bit of it, like that's all kind of cool. The kind of the humbling nature of how big the world is.
Right, there's other groups and stuff.
Yeah, and there is stuff like that happens in stories for sure, and I think they can do it where it doesn't annoy you. But if it is like way too convenient, that can definitely be when it's like the 2/6 Archaea. When I'm looking at the examples, you find a few that they're like, or a lot even, they're like, that's honestly pretty cool still, like the Jurassic Park one. And then you find a ton of jokes. You're like, okay, well, that's a joke, so I don't know if that counts. And then it's like, it's harder to find ones where it's like, okay, this is actually kind of terrible. Like why this rule even exists. What are the examples of like pissing people off? And the one I found is Superman, which Zed mentioned in the chat too, but Superman in the original movie, he spins the earth backwards to move time backwards to save Lois after she dies.
Right.
And I mean, like it's some ways it's like it's so bad it's good, but that's like hard to defend. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking. That's like
Wait, was that always supposed to be a bad moment? I always thought that was a cool idea. It doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense.
But it's
Yeah.
cool. But
Ridiculous.
it's cool, right? Like
Yeah.
he would just blow the fucking ocean off the earth and the atmosphere would like disintegrate. Like it wouldn't actually reverse time.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
But
it's still cool. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Someone should
I'm not
a
high. I'm just
a One Punch
I-
Man character should try and do that and actually like fucking suck
And
the ocean.
blow
off
up
the earth.
Earth.
Dude, that would be
Irene's got the
hilarious.
itis everywhere. He ate too much meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
God, I-
here's this here. I'm gonna do my Jake moment where I come up with a story right on the spot.
Yes.
There's a new superhero that comes to your planet and is a do-gooder, and he's making this his new home, and then all the other superheroes get jealous and mad because he's so much better, so they dig up dirt on him. He's from another planet which he destroyed by trying to spin the world backwards and go back in time because his girlfriend died, but he killed everybody on his planet, so he came and found another planet with humanoid life to try to become the world's best hero, and probably falls in love with someone and obsesses over her, and becomes evil because of it. I don't know.
Sounds good. No, that's awesome. Actually,
Where's the Deus? Was that a Deus Ex example? It was just
it
No,
happens
it's
in
just
the past.
I'm just
Oh,
riffing.
yeah.
Just went
Yeah.
off the rails.
But
what if Superman
real
did
fast-
destroy Earth, then try to find Earth 2 and fell in with another
He-
Lois?
EC cracked the code a little bit. An outside force ending the conflict is cool if the writer can portray the characters properly. I'm like, you know what? Every example that I like that this does that. This absolutely does that. Raiders does it, and 2001 does it. So that's kind of cool. Maybe that's like part of the trick of when it could work.
I'm really
I'm gonna
trying
make
to
that story.
figure out how to define the lame Deus. You've fucking mentally judo like thrown us into just that all Deus Ex Machinas are good now.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
wait,
cool, guys. Don't worry about
Where
them.
are the bad ones? This is supposed to be a bad thing. What have you done?
Yeah, I'll give you one other example. Here's a blatant example. So this is a kind of funny one. So it's a Star Trek original series. It's an episode. I forget what it's called, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd say like the series or the season and everything. But I'll just describe it. It says the Star Trek episode. There's an example that is so on the nose, Deus Ex Machina, that it's almost meta, but can be taken as a proud statement in defense for the Deus Ex Machina. In this episode, the Enterprise is plagued by a god who is endlessly toying with them. He hasn't killed them yet, but might. There is nothing they can do. They are played with and tortured, and they can literally do nothing. In the end, it is revealed that the god torturing them is actually a child, and his godlike parents come find him at the end and tell him to stop playing with the nice people. The godparents apologize for their unruly son and leave the Enterprise in peace. The end. So like
that story is so good. They literally parodied it in the Futurama episode with the Star Trek crossover. Like,
oh yeah, that's funny. I know, like this is great, but it is like
Yeah.
it's
And it's
gimmicky. You might
technically,
say.
literally Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, and
That
it
is
is
fun,
like, but it's funny because the ending. You're like, wait a minute, they just randomly get out of it. But
Yeah.
that is one where
Yeah.
it's like so thematic and cool. Like I don't even care. That's like an awesome twist. Did not see that coming. That's cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I like that.
but that one's kind of like playing chicken with the audience almost. It's like, yeah, you betcha we're going for straight up Deus Ex Machina. You ready?
Yeah.
It's going to be super
But it-
convenient. We're going to do it. Here it
but
comes.
it's not unbelievable though. Like it's a twist, but is it
Yeah.
unbelievable? Like
We
okay,
haven't nailed
It's
it.
not set up in that
It's
case. At
person.
least you can say that. But
It's
but after the
believable
fact
in the
makes
world,
sense.
though.
Yeah, it like makes sense after the fact.
Right.
That would be like something you have to check. If you don't have a setup, it has to make sense after the fact.
yeah, like the like description I've got up, it says it's a plot device that feels unbelievable to the world of the story, or feels more like a convenience than a natural organic turn of events. Like putting that godlike thing in a family position where it has parents, it's instantly relatable to anyone because we all have families. You know what I mean? So it
Right.
kind of makes it believable in that sense.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, this is an example where it definitely not only does it get away with it, but it's like if this is Deus Ex Machina, it's an example where it's awesome and not even a bad thing. So
I think. What do you think that twist would have not worked or worked not as well if they revealed it was a kid? I don't remember this episode. Of course, I haven't seen anything. If the kid, it was revealed that it was a kid, and then the kid just went like and went away, versus the parents came in and explained what's happening, and then took the kid away, and there was like a whole setup, and it was like, or it wasn't retroactively set up, and it was played as in it was integrated part of the world, versus it was just a kid fucking with you all the time. Hey, bye.
Yeah, that would be worse, I think, right? If it was just the kid. The parents definitely add to the fun, kind of. So.
If it was Saving Private Ryan, but then aliens came down and did an airstrike.
I don't think that's a Deus Ex Machina, because we're talking about how Japanese storytelling. Sorry, Jake. I got it on it. How in Japanese storytelling, how often you have a twist instead of set up and then conflict and then resolution. How in Japanese storytelling could be there's setup and then there's a twist and then resolution. It's almost that type of storytelling instead of a Deus Ex Machina.
Well,
so
yeah,
differentiation there.
I think this example would be bad. A bad version of it if his parents came, but they weren't his parents. It was just some other entity that wasn't connected to the kid, and they just pulled him away or whatever. The reason this works is because
like Space Cups.
The reason it works is because the parent is connected to this godly child entity, and it gives it more context. And fun.
If it was Space Cops, like, you know what it's kind of like as far as the satisfaction is it was all a dream, because that's when it is way harder to defend. It was all a dream. Like, I can't think of any example where that has ever worked, really, except maybe like Alice in Wonderland or whatever.
With It Was All a Dream, it's like the inverse of the warm payoff. It actually sucks away the warmth of what you experienced. If you have a cool adventure and then you're like, it didn't really happen, that's like sucking the emotion out of every cool bit you've had.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and this is almost like that. And it would be more like that if it's like, oh, actually a space police came and got the kid. They're even more powerful than him, actually. If you like saying actually, if you're saying actually too much.
If you even bigger fuck you. I like Jake's take on taking the warmth away. It would be if it was a child fucking with the crew, and then no parent, no space police, nothing. It's just suddenly the kid has a heart attack and dies. That would be a giant fuck you, and
so that
completely
would be
sucking all the energy. That would be if it was played for laughs, it would work. But if it was played seriously, the audience would be pissed.
Yeah,
because it didn't matter.
Yeah. And even in the new Star Wars, when they say like some Emperor Palpatine has come back somehow, that like feels a little bit like bullshit, and it feels kind of like sort of like this, but that's not exactly an example. But
like if the villain slips on a banana peel before the last fight happens and breaks his neck.
No, that shit's funny for sure. But that's like different example.
All of it can be. I can't think of an example that isn't just funny.
That's why it's hard. The Superman one is like legit. Oh, there was one listed in Snopes, because they have ones listed in Snopes, but it is like so many of them are jokes. Some of them are like, well, the movie's actually good, so what's the issue? And then a few of them are like, okay, that kind of. But there was one, and it does feel like if it's a little bit more, it almost has like It Was All a Dream type feel. That is when it like is really bad, and that's probably what the negative connotations of where this is usually applied and is like that kind of feeling. But there's one called The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon. Have you guys heard that one or seen it? I haven't seen it. I just read the example.
It already sounds lame. It sounds like people stepping in and tweaking reality. And
that is what it is. It's like kind of like The Matrix or something. But then apparently somehow they are meant to, they keep getting tweaked away from each other, but they want to get tweaked towards each other by the Adjustment Bureau. So they're like these star-crossed lovers, Matt Damon and blah, blah, blah. They end up like running around. They're going to get like killed or something at the end. But so it's their last stand. So instead of fighting, they just make out, and they make out for like 2 minutes straight, thinking they're going to die soon. But then because I guess the Adjustment Bureau was so moved by their love, it decides to spare them and to let them live together forever. And that's the end. So that is like literally like kind of what we're talking about. It's like, okay, very not satisfying. Just got God like force swooping in and being like, actually, let's have a happy ending.
Yeah, it seems dumb.
Right. Didn't they have, I mean, I found, oh God, somebody's going to crucify me for this. I found Hunger Games not that memorable, but isn't that kind of what happened at the end of the first movie where it's like, oh, I know it was fake. They weren't actually a couple, but they played it as if they were a couple so they could both survive. And that maybe it would have, if that happened, but without the whole setup of, okay, we're playing it for PR purposes, at least that's how I remember it happening, and we're actually trying to manipulate public opinion so we can both get out of this. And instead it was actually suddenly these evil people that wanted us all dead took pity on them and then let them live. And they broke the character that was already set up. That would have been a shitty Deus Ex Machina ending, I think.
Yeah.
There's a guy running the games, and then it's all like, no, they must make them fight. Then just before they're about to like kill each other, he says, no, I've had a change of heart. Actually, I would like them to live.
Right. If there is no setup, just like the warmth is sucked out. Calmajet, yeah, somebody made me watch the whole thing. I mean, it wasn't bad. I just didn't find it mind blowing.
I watched the new one at the cinema. It was very fun to make fun of.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the warmth. This is one takeaway I'm getting here in your guys' feedback is like the warmth. If it's there, and if it's breaking, it's almost like breaking the rules, because maybe it is like it's not even Deus Ex Machina. If you do it well enough, it doesn't even count anymore.
Yeah, having the characters feeling the awe of the moment through the characters feeling the awe of what they're witnessing, I think is an important warm component, an important component to that warmth.
Are you saying awe or or?
Or
God damn it!
Or inspiring.
You browsy accent.
Awe.
The chat is going off about Hunger Games now. They've all read it.
I'm glad I set them off.
Sorry.
Yeah, I forget how it goes to. It kind of went down the memory hole. I remember it was big back in the day.
It's like Battle Royale, but the whole continent of the U.S. But it kind of didn't make that much sense.
Yeah, Battle Royale is sweet. Have you seen that one?
Battle Royale's, oh yeah, it's good. It's
nice.
Good.
I never seen it.
That movie's
the
awesome.
Original. Just like how Paprika was the original of Inception, because somebody brought up Inception, so go watch Paprika.
Yep.
The part I liked the most about Battle Royale was just the kids being able to make a radio out of crap they found that gave them information. Like that ingenuity, I think, stuck out for me the whole film, that moment.
It was just such good character writing. Like all the kids, how they dealt with the situation and actually those being resourceful and not just idiots. It was very great characterization. Japanese cinema Battle Royale is old, but Japanese cinema has been popping lately. Have you guys seen I haven't seen all of them.
I don't want to read my films.
Yeah, I don't like reading.
Yeah. I'm sorry that words are so hard for both of you.
I can't even read my own.
It's not like we're here trying to write or anything.
Yeah, I don't forgive you.
Moving on.
Real quick, another kind of takeaway is, speaking of it being the parents and the T-Rex, that kind of like makes sense. Like if it wasn't the T-Rex that swooped in to save him, like if it was like another pack of velociraptors. Yeah, the T-Rex honestly felt like the fucking parents telling the kids to fucking sit down. Yeah. It's like
that's what I felt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
It feels like it makes sense in hindsight, even though there's no setup. Because sometimes, there's no setups, and that can work. But that is like one of the check boxes for Deus Ex Machina is kind of like no setup, and it's like, this has no setup, and technically this has no setup, but they both feel like they could happen, and there's easily if it also doesn't check that box. So if it has no setup and it feels like it couldn't happen. That's terrible. That'd be the worst. That's like the Superman one. It's a little bit like that. But those examples are kind of hard to find. And when they are hitting some of these, we're like, oh, it makes sense in hindsight. Like that's kind of cool. Honestly, that there's quite a few examples that are like that.
I want to. People are like, what can you do with sci-fi nowadays? It's all been done. Bring back shitty old sci-fi ideas like flying around the planet to reverse time. Bring back retarded sci-fi ideas.
No,
I did not see this coming. I did not see Jake would be defending spinning, but it makes sense in hindsight. You would.
Bring back the robots work because you just chuck plutonium in them. Like
you would be defending the thing that makes no logical sense that could only work in a comedy.
My one example of an actual terrible Deus Ex Machina, and you're like, I kind of like it.
Yeah, that is the blatant one.
I've always liked that idea. It doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. It makes sense in a 1950s view of sci-fi way.
Okay, even someone in 1950s would know that's not how fucking gravity and
not
time
a little
works.
kid who's reading a fucking Superman comic in the 1950s.
God. Okay,
It might even
anyways.
Okay, here's the thing with that idea. It could even inspire people to figure out if that would actually be real and then actually get them to pursue, like, okay, what's the physics of this?
So
And then
write stupid things into your stories to inspire the readers to fact check you. Great tactic.
No, not to fact check. And it's an inspiring thing. Because it can make, look, I watch a lot of Red Dwarf, obviously, I've gone about all the time.
Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, and Futurama. So the stupid actually wouldn't work potential sci-fi ideas of all of things that might have a grain of truth behind them. When you watch them when you're younger, they're like food for thought, and you sit there thinking, wait, how could that work? Like, how could a warp drive work? Right? Like, and then it could lead, I don't know.
It's so stupid it becomes smart.
Are you describing Interstellar?
Jake, if only astronauts could style, that'd be fucking badass. If I ever do astronauts in space, they gotta be smoking cigars in the ISS. Oh.
Yep.
I'm awake. Snarky, I'm awake.
There's been a few spin-offs of some random spitballing for story ideas from Jake and Phil this week, which has been good.
I liked Phil's Earth 2.
Yeah, that is
I want
hilarious.
to do that one. That one sounds awesome. It's like a Mark Miller story.
Yeah, that's cool. So the kind of wrapping up here, but the pros and cons. I'm biased, so I got way more pros. And the pros is access to abstraction and expressionism with kind of your trippy ending. That gives you your Deus Ex Machina. That's a subgenre in itself, is a story with a trippy ending. Those are awesome and they're fun. Access to thematic irony and tragedy, which access to the chaos of life, which I think was it Michael Disha in the chat, or someone was saying dumb luck is a thing that happens in life. That's like a weird aspect of the Deus Ex Machina, is like in some ways it can be more like real life because of these conveniences do happen in the real world.
That rule that you said at the beginning, could get a coincidence to get people into trouble, cool. A convenience to get them out of trouble, lame. But if that convenience is super warm, then you're like, whatever. I think the reason why a convenience to get people out of trouble is because it removes value from the story. So creating a new conflict that just popped up out of nowhere, now there's more tension. That's like a valuable thing in a story, is tension, right? A convenience to get you out of it, you relieved tension without actually giving the viewer anything for it. Like, it stole tension away from you. You held on to that tension. My point of view with tension in a story is people actually feel it's like a double-edged sword. They like it, but they also feel fucking uncomfortable holding on to the tension. I watched Mouse Hunt with my mom a couple of weeks ago, right? Have you guys watched that film? In the chat, have you watched the film? They buy a house, they invent it's like sorry to derail this. It's a couple of guys who are like fuck ups inherit a house, and there's a mouse in it, and they found that the last owner of the house was like found in a chest in the attic, right? Like this mouse is a menace, and basically they end up ripping the house apart trying to kill this mouse, and this mouse is super smart. It's called Mouse Hunt. It's amazing.
Is Nathan Lane in it?
No, it's a British comedian who I forget his name, and the Timon from Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, isn't that Nathan Lane?
Oh, is that guy? I don't know his name.
You're thinking of Mouse Trap, isn't it? Mouse Trap?
No, Mouse Hunt. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that film is it is so good at building tension. Like towards the end of the film, it seems like a silly kids film, but if an adult watches it, there's so much tension. I was watching it with my mom, and she was sitting there telling me, Jake, this is uncomfortable. I don't want, this is too much. Like it was too much tension. So what I'm saying is when you build, you're supposed to be building up tension in the audience, but that is actually a discomfort. And they're waiting for it to be released in an appealing way, a way that feels like it was worth them being like taxed like dollars a second, right? Whilst holding onto that tension. And so if you just take away that tension without no payoff, you basically said there was no effort for you holding on to that, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, screw you. We gave you all that tension, and then guess what it was worth? They got out of it for no reason, and there was no payoff.
Yeah, you know, in the case of Raiders of the Lost Ark, that it reminds me of that, because that's like everyone wants that moment. Everyone's waiting to see what will happen. Everyone wants to see the Ark opened. So it's like, that is like, it would be weird if you're like, no, it's a Deus Ex Machina, let's change it. Then you don't get that awesome moment. Everyone wants that. So it is a funny balancing, because it is like a pro and con. You're like, all right, Indiana gets a little bit of a convenient escape, but we get this awesome climax where you get to see what's in the Ark. Everyone wants to know, and we get to give them that moment.
Yeah, so say the Ark got crushed by a rock and never gets opened.
Yeah, that would be worse. Yeah.
That's kind of a Deus Ex Machina, but it's no payoff, so it's fucking frustrating.
Yeah. So there's some things coming up that I didn't write, but it's like it has to be a pretty dang big payoff in its own, and it can be its own thing that swoops in. That's kind of like supposedly a negative, but if it brings a huge payoff just with it, like 2001 is like that. 2001 is like, guess what? The movie's different now. Deal with it. I know you had no idea this was coming, but it's crazy now. Have fun. And you're like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, like the build-up is, what is this monolith? What is this power that's going on? The payoff is this person goes through this mindfuck sequence at the end. And that's like the true power of it, is that whole like lifetime in a very short period of like, that is me and now I'm him. Like that is, that's a big mindfuck payoff sequence.
Yeah.
That demonstrates like the power of that force.
Yeah. So some of the pros: access to the chaos of life, access to the humbling feeling of godlike power brings for both the author and the characters. That's kind of a big one. Not all stories should have it, obviously, but I feel like that totally benefits like almost any story. But audience satisfaction in the best case, and that's also a con, which is funny. If it goes wrong, then it's very not satisfying to the audience. And then the convenience is an obvious con. That's kind of the main reason why it's listed as this pretty bad thing to avoid, which is funny. Like I swear it's like if this is what people are saying about it, Robert McKee saying Deus Ex Machina not only erases all meaning and emotion, it is an insult to the audience. Each of us knows we must choose an act, for better or worse, to determine the meaning of our lives. Deus Ex Machina is an insult because it is a lie.
Yeah, it removes all meaning and emotion. Emotion, warmth, the meaning. There was no point to me holding on to that tension. There was no point to the things you set up. They didn't pay off. They didn't mean anything.
It goes back to audience investment. You don't want to tell your audience, essentially give them a fuck you and say that their investment wasn't worth it. But as long as you don't play, you can have something saving the day, but as long as it is not played like a fuck you to the audience, I don't think it counts exactly as a Deus Ex Machina.
Hey, if it's a joke, the payoff is the humor. If it's a massive explosion, the payoff is a really cool sequence. Do you know what I mean? Like 2001, crazy sequence at the end that was a bit like, what? Like, that's a payoff.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's even a lot of these when I picture like someone in the writer's room, you hand in your script and they're like, okay, we got a problem with the 2001 script at the end, the Deus Ex Machina ending. We do not like that. We need to change it. It needs to be the guy's like own actions that make things happen. It can't be an outside force. It's too convenient. So fix it. It's like that would ruin the movie in that case. But yeah, so the big picture, well, I'll skip to so one. Yeah, the side note, this is the last thing, but Deus Ex Machina seems to be an example of know the rules, then break them, or it's okay. It's one of the rules it's okay to break, surprisingly. And Shaggy Dog Story is also another one that's like all about breaking rules. So those two I kind of have written down. So I'm like, I'm kind of interested in trying to step outside of some of the more normal storytelling. I think
I
we kind
want
of
to talk
need
about
that.
that.
Yeah, I think we might need that just for this era. We're in an era where things are too straightforward. But so the big picture, what were you saying?
Shaggy Dog Story, right? Like most things I've written seem like they're like that, and you've never ventured into them that much, right? And a Shaggy Dog is kind of like you go on a world tour and some stuff happens, and there's some setups and payoffs, but not everything is a setup and payoff, right? There's just
I think, yeah. Shaggy Dog is like it's kind of allowed to meander and do whatever it wants, and you might have a whole section where the audience at the end they'll be like, "What was that one section about? Was that even about anything?" And you're like, "Not really.
yeah,
It's just there."
like I'm having trouble now after learning all of this structure stuff, letting myself have things that aren't setups. Like I'm looking at, I would usually have, oh, here's just a fun moment that can happen, and it's like
Yeah,
a world or a whole character or a whole character's backstory gets introduced and then they get killed instantly, and like that was just a funny thing that happens, right? But like now I'm like, that has to be a setup for something, otherwise it was a waste. Do you understand what I mean? Like that character's brother has to come back later looking for him.
yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
that
mean?
could be if that's a rule. I don't know if that's a rule. Is the rule like everything must be either a setup or a payoff? Maybe that's a
That-
rule.
I don't
but that would be
think
one that's worth
so.
breaking. Yeah.
That's what
I
I'm
think the rule
struggling
is
with.
more. No, I mean I struggle with a similar thing, but what helped me relax is I read somewhere that every scene should play into either the world building, plot, or character. And if
Or
you
the
have
theme.
scenes where the characters are just hanging out and having fun with each other, which is what I realize I need to do more, and it's best if you kind of do several things at once in a scene and have plot happening, but also the characters showing them bonding and that kind of, or having fun or throwing in some jokes. That stuff matters. That's character. So character, plot, or world building, as long as it hits one of those,
And
it's okay.
theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
can
think
kind of
theme
hit a couple.
permeates everything.
Yeah, you can hit a little like the character moments or whatever. So you're still building some stuff, but then it's not like it's not like forced to be that, and that freedom of kind of relaxing is kind of nice. But I don't know if it's like decision or what. Some real quick, EC, he says some good stuff. He goes, I think many of the good Deus Ex Machina moments cash out the character's karma they've built up through the story. That would kind of be that a little bit of that warm thing Jake's talking about. Whereas bad examples ignore that intuitive poetic rhythm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
even with like the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So like if Indiana Jones and Marion had also had their faces exploded, that would honestly feel weird. Or if one of the Nazis had randomly survived. So it did
or Gary, after you've beat the Elite Four, he beats the Elite Four after you, and then he's the actual winner. Like the rival asshole. You'd have a dickhead character in the film if he came in and killed the big bad at the end, or got saved. Like he's got no built up karma. Like if you have a character be saved who has no built up karma, if you go to EC's example and flip it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, keeping track of the karma is a good concept. I haven't really thought of that, but that's awesome. That is like something that's happening behind the scenes in a lot of stories.
Yeah, it's a cool way to look at it. Also, like having characters woven in and out of your story. Like if you have one character, and this would kind of be a way to set up a mechanic that I think would work, where you have a character that you see at the start of your story that says something that might plant the seed when they ultimately come back later, where it kind of leaves world building ideas where that character goes off and has their own adventure we don't see, and then comes back in at a moment that does feel like a climax or lead to
Cool.
resolution.
It kind of does that. Immediately I was thinking of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings as a little bit
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, he's a huge part of that story, but yeah, he goes and has his own thing that, especially in the film, you don't see, and then shows back up.
He also paid a price to even get to that point because, like, he sacrificed himself.
Sure.
Yeah.
In his death.
Yeah. So this is the last slide. This little screed. I don't even remember what I wrote. So let me see. I said, one thing all Deus Ex Machina stories have is that the hero is not the center of the story. They're just a blip in the universe swept up in forces larger than themselves. While things may happen for their convenience, these things only reveal just how futile their pursuits really are in the face of these huge mysterious forces. True Deus Ex Machina is God entering your story. It is anti-ego. It is not you entering your story, which would be like heavy ego. The author entering their own story to imbue some convenience for the characters is how Deus Ex Machina got such a bad reputation in the first place. But interesting to note that there aren't that many truly bad examples of it. Most examples are mocking, referential, or meta jokes. As for what they allegedly reference, ancient Greek plays with angelic chorus, that is another thing. All plays back then were pretty weird, but it's actually pretty cool the way the Greeks did it. Definitely not something that should be mocked. In truth, most of the mockery of Deus Ex Machina is not referencing ancient Greek plays. It's just referencing the ego of lazy authors entering their own story for convenience, which is actually pretty hard to find earnest examples of this. You can find earnest examples, but they're usually pretty awesome for the reasons mentioned above. So that's the end. The weird deep dive into Deus Ex Machina and discovering that there aren't that many examples of it totally sucking.
Yeah, actually.
That it could be that there's just a lot of it's just not done a lot because it's kind of an understood basic rule of storytelling that things should set up. It's more, I think it's more common for bad writing to instead of something that's Deus Ex Machina to have the writing just peter off into nowhere. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Instead of something swoops in and saves the day.
Yeah, it's like there might be lots of examples, but they sort of just get like all under the umbrella of bad writing. Yeah, and they kind of just disappear. And then the good examples are like the exceptions kind of thing, and they're the ones that stand out.
What about that film Ex Machina?
Yeah. I don't think that has a Deus Ex Machina thing, but that movie's okay.
Irene, you saying it tapering off, it made me imagine if you had a story and there was like something they had to do, but then they get distracted and just go do a bunch of other stuff. And at the end, they're like, wait, what were we supposed to do?
Right, it's just about absolutely fucking nuts. It's like you lead someone on, and then there's something totally gonna happen, and then at the end it's about nothing. And just the writer just telling you, it doesn't matter.
Well, even they say what we're supposed to do, and like, oh yeah, we had to kill that guy, and then they look next to them, and there's like a poster that says "guy dead," like heroes, and it's like, I'll be
honest, George R. R. Martin skirts the line on that because I know he really likes deconstruction, and he'll switch between almost crossing that line because he wants to fuck with you. It's fucking annoying, but this got me thinking of because the way that I like to think about, especially fantasy writing, is tied to tabletop gaming. So I like to think about it as well. If I'm the DM of this world and I'm playing all the characters as well and all that kind of stuff. And in tabletop gaming, there's a general understanding that your role as a DM / writer is your job is to give your players a challenge. And some players like to feel like they're the hero of the story and everything is in their favor, and if they fuck up, then some power will swoop down and save them. But I think that's terrible and that's babyish, and anybody who's an adult who isn't a complete wimp shouldn't play like that. And that's just dumb. But because that's not a fucking challenge, you just want to feel like a hero, you want your ass kissed. But so at least the way we play in our games was always that shouldn't happen. And if a character fucks up, then they fuck up, and the DM will give them a chance to try and get out of the bad situation if something plausibly exists within the plot. But if they fuck that up as well, then you're dead, and there's no coming back to life unless you pay the high price. It's never easy, even though it's just built in the game mechanics. Characters can be brought back to life, but we almost never do that in our game. So I think more it's about having that price being paid and not babying your players. So that translates in writing to not babying your readers and their investment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're like, I'm not gonna treat you guys with kid gloves.
Otherwise, there's not even point in playing. If you get stuck under a table, you're dying in a corridor full of slime monsters. You're dying under that table, bitch.
Yeah.
Or you're Jake now.
If you're a DM, if you're the writer, the metaphor being a DM, you're like a heartless, hardcore DM. You're not like a babysitter DM.
It's a Nuzlocke run in
That's
Pokemon.
But you know what's great?
It's
when
where
you do
have to
win. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Go on,
I was
Jake.
gonna say when you do. Oh, shut up! I was gonna say when you do win when there's challenges, then it's more work.
The first Pokemon you meet.
Oh my god.
Oh, and you just use that Pokemon the whole way.
In each new area, then I'm waiting for Irene to speak so I can interrupt her again.
I think that's the longest coffee sip.
She's drinking. I'm not drinking.
It's empty.
And when they die, you have to delete them. And that's like one is where when your Pokemon die, they have to die. Sorry, Harry. What are you saying?
Can you bring them back or what?
Something about the topic? No, that's it. They're gone. You delete them. You free them. You release them in the game.
It's not even on my channel, and you're still trying to annoy me.
Gives me power and sustenance. Okay, what were you saying?
No power.
What were you saying?
I was saying, let's move on, Narwhal.
All right. I like Deus Ex Machina now, Narwhal. Thank you for this presentation.
I know. I think we might.
You don't?
Well, Irene, give an example of one.
Yeah.
I think actually this presentation makes me think they don't even exist.
Yes, they do fucking exist.
No one can find one.
Give us an example.
Oh my god.
No, I'm actually as interested in Phil and knowing.
I did. I pointed out in Berserk, I think Skull Knight saving Casca was somewhat of a Deus Ex Machina. Not Guts, but Casca. And that was done. That was like the writer's hand coming in and doing something without a proper setup for her, just because he wanted Casca to be there as a reminder for Guts. But all the setup was only for saving Guts, not Casca. So I think there are examples of when that happens and there's no, it's obvious that something is done only because the writer wants it to happen instead of this naturally played out in the story. That's Deus Ex Machina. It's not just whenever something powerful comes in and saves a day. I don't think that defines Deus Ex Machina. So if a lot of the examples that were given here, I don't even think it's Deus Ex Machina. So I think we differ in our definition of what this trope is.
That Guts example, right? For one, you could argue that there was a warm payoff and it did have a little bit of setup. But I agree, like if I was to agree with like your view on it, would this fix it? What if Skull Knight was about to save Guts and Guts didn't have the mark on him yet, and Guts deciding to jump back in to save Casca meant that he got the mark on him but was still saved, would that have been enough of a price and a change to the plan where like he could have got saved and not had the mark, but him choosing to save Casca could have got him the mark? If that, I'm proposing a change that might remove the Deus Ex-ness of that moment.
The sequence of events, I don't know how, because the mark was given at the beginning.
I know a lot of stuff would have to get changed, but replace
for some
it for
reason
anything.
I feel like that would make it worse. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
That's
it's like all this stuff is like if he jumps back in and to save her, then he should be dead too, because he gave up on this one. There was already this godlike force that was about to save him, and he gave it up. So let's all just die.
And what I was trying to think of an example of what an extra price that could have been paid that wasn't supposed to have been paid, that could have given a reason to save Casca. You know what I mean? Because you're saying like Guts because it was supposed to get saved, but then she just gets tacked on. I'm thinking, what if something extra had happened where they would pay even more of a price to save Casca?
I don't think it's about paying the price to save Casca. I think it's, how do I explain this? It's more about the reason for her. The setup for her being saved wasn't there, because the setup was always Guts is connected to Skull Knight, and it wasn't Casca, right? So Casca is connected between Griffith and Guts, and I actually think that if we want Casca to be this character that is alive and is there to remind Guts of Griffith's fuckery, it would have worked better if in that moment Skull Knight only saved Guts, plucked Guts out of there, and Guts thinks everybody died, including Casca, and all the things that happened to Casca still happened, and we think she's dead. But later it's revealed that Griffith has kept her alone alive and is continuing to fuck with her this whole time, and then that would have made the story much better, and I wouldn't have hated her character as much, and her being Potato would have made more sense. Her having no chance of ever recovering would have been better.
You did. Congratulations, you did fix it. That is better.
You fixed it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, the end.
That is much better.
That means Irene just freestyled some creativity too on this stream. We got all three of you guys.
It's rare, but I try.
Nice. It's because you got stage right.
I love the freestyle. I love the freestyle.
PC says, how about Superman flying around the Earth? That is, we mentioned that, but that's the one that is bad. And it is an example. It's not a joke.
Wrong.
It's terrible.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Except for there you go. That is bad.
I will make it great though. In my new villain for the
yeah.
It's that wonderful, optimistic 1950s sci-fi for kids.
Yeah.
That inspires them to pursue physics as a study.
Sure.
Cool.
We'll let you think that's the intention.
Or at least becoming a science fiction writer themselves.
Yes. We've had a very consistent viewers this whole show. So thanks, chat, for being here. I think everyone stayed for the whole thing pretty much, which is cool. We got our regulars. Snorticon, Alex, BTC, Call Me Jed,
It was another good one. It was another good one.
It's great.
Yeah. So let's go over everyone's websites and what we got going, and then we can enter the second half. I don't have the cat video, I don't think. We'll figure
Okay,
you broke your mic. Irene broke her mic. It took her 2 hours this time because she was lower energy, so she didn't pick the mic.
You have to show. Did you guys show that mic picture that Narwhal drew? So good.
Oh yeah, show it. It's so great.
Oh no, that I haven't showed that yet. Let me show
show it. It's so great. Alex, you can work it into a meme. That would be super cool.
So good.
Yeah, I guess we haven't showed that with the
took me all this
Oh
time.
yeah, Alex. Novel's drawing of me with my foot gout powers was right at the beginning too. If you missed that, some meme material there.
Powers.
Gout. Oh.
By the power of gout crystals, the transform.
His icon is so funny when he's like, gout.
Goat.
You know, we can all do that. Like, if we have two images, he can tell us how to set it up.
Yeah, it's not.
What?
You have to use
I'm doing
OBS, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Why don't you do it with our characters, our Jake characters?
Yeah, Jake set it up for us.
Our hyper
So
wizard characters.
Look at that! Look at that! Look!
Mike
It's my
Moon
long-suffering Mike. Look at that!
is in the
Look at
wasteland.
this! It's perfect. It's got
he's a-
everything. It's got my little.
Look at Irene in the
plushie.
background.
It's got my Hold on. Let me. This is a
No,
real life
please.
version, side by
No,
side.
please. Muted myself.
Nice.
Did it work? Did I kill the mic?
Killed
Yeah,
him.
now you're
You're quiet
incredibly
now, yeah.
quiet now.
But
You're
yeah.
being punished.
This
We're
is Mike
all-
Kuhn. He's got everything. He's got the Taiwanese flag. He's got the plushy doctor guy, and he's got the
You'll play doctor. So cute.
She's
what are
been
these called?
permanently quietened. That's great.
Fuck.
Mike Kuhn Raka Dishabrand.
Okay. Here. There you go. I'm louder now. You shall not silence me.
This is the border on Irene's desk, separating the drinks from themselves.
This is the wasteland. Looks like the fucking dreamscape wasteland of Berserk. That is my desktop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Name a
That's
fictional
great.
character that has suffered more than Mike Kuhn. Always.
Oh, I love it.
That's all.
It's uncanny because Narwhal, you haven't read Berserk, right?
I have, but I haven't finished it. I got a little bit past the golden arc. I can't remember which arc I got to, but they were
Well,
like he had the
that's
badass black armor. It was like killing him and stuff. It was pretty.
You're
deep.
further ahead than me then. You're further
Yeah.
ahead than me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's funny
Slacker.
because there actually was a dreamscape arc that is kind of looks like you're drawing, so I think that's kind of perfect. It's great.
Oh, nice. Mike Kuhn.
I love it. I love it. It's all cute. Yay.
Nice.
Yeah, I read up to Grex's reappearing, and I was like, well, kind of done.
Right. This motherfucker.
I stopped when I saw Guts banging some alien monster chick in his butt.
You mean on the
That's like
first
page one.
page?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the first page.
That sounds
bro.
about right.
Damn,
have
Phil. What do you have against good
Alien monster
storytelling?
babes.
An epic manga. Awesomeness.
Tay Tay is
Uh.
a sign. Got a little super chat. Thank you for the $5. Did you ever see Amazing Stories Ep The Mission about a gunner on a B-17 who is also a cartoonist that saves his crew with his art? Is this Ex Machina? That sounds awesome, and I would say it sounds like it's not Ex Machina because if there's any magic that happens, it's like tied to the art. So there's a setup. So there would have to be like a logic to it, kind of.
I don't think I've ever
Angela,
seen
go
that.
back to being Angela. I don't like this universe where you're pretending your name is Tay Tay that is a psyop. This isn't fair. This isn't fun.
Oh, that's Angela.
very
Angela, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Angela.
Go back. This is not a good reality. Go back to the timeline. This is the what did Camel Moon keep calling Athaline? He kept on calling him Arthurline. And so for months we had to go into the Arthurline timeline where he changed his name.
Yeah,
Good
that was
job.
the Mandela effect. Yeah.
No, we're back in the Athaline timeline, which is
Thank
great.
God.
Oh.
Thank God.
Still, he
says
says
little-
there wasn't logic to it in that episode. So maybe it
With the
was.
J. I do miss Angela.
Come back,
Yeah.
Angela.
Come back
Good to
and
see you.
use your little butterfly avatar on YouTube.
So, Irene, you passed 30K. What's the next stretch? Well, what do people get at 30K?
Congrats. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we passed 30K. If you go to the Fiendish 2.5 tab on the left, you can see the campaign embedded on my website. Which,
Look at that.
for any
Oh,
viewers who
that's
don't
funny.
know, fiendishcomic.com is a website. And I have to fund my comic campaign mirrored here. But yeah, look at that. We just zoomed past 30K. It's fucking amazing. That was like $1,000 in or more, almost $1,000 in a day, I think, because I remember Valentine's Day
Damn.
or the day before, I was looking at 29,300 or so, and I was like, well, it'd be cool if we got to 30K on Valentine's, but we technically did right around midnight. I don't know if it was exact, but thank you guys so much. That's awesome. And now that we've hit 30K, which was the last stretch goal I set, so I need to figure out something else for 32, which is our next goal. But everyone is getting a free mini print, and I posted an update just now. So if you go to the update section, you can see the art. Should be able to. You might have to like click. Oh, the newest one at top. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to embed right. Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yes, there you go. So that's it's super small on there, but that is the mini print that everybody is going to get. That's a little drawing of young Cosme and Ragnar in better days, better times. I have a title for this piece. I was looking up words that were fitting on using the good old thesaurus. I use thesaurus.com a lot because, you know, I'm lazy. And I think I'll call it Springtide because it's all youthful and it's before the darkness of the world comes in and destroys their souls.
You called it springtime?
Springtide. Not springtime.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. I don't need fucking...
It's springtide.
Springtide, because springtide is another name. It can mean springtime or it can mean youth. So I thought that was fitting.
Tide.
That would have made a great chapter name. Why have you used it on one poster?
Maybe it will be a chapter name.
Yeah.
Very
It sounds too much like a laundry detergent.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it, Narwhal. Okay, at least you're honest. At least you're honest.
Yeah, Banker says,
Also,
how about Tide Pod? Yeah, the Tide Pod arc. Fiendish.
All right, it'll be... Well, I'm keeping it springtide no matter how much you guys are making fun of it. And look at that. I also posted that poster on, if you scroll down, that Michael Rushbrook did.
Ooh.
And it's
That's
just
awesome.
inks now, but he just like did this. He just like volunteers art and he's like, do you want it? I'm like, yes.
I love that.
Thanks.
Nice.
super
That's
cool.
awesome.
It's really great. So I don't know what to do for 32K, but I'm thinking, I mean, now that this is already done, I'm going to have to use it. So if we get to, let's see, because I already have my trading card artist. Also working on a trading card, but I think I'll set this poster for the 32K stretch goal because this is specific to 2.5 and it's so fitting. It's fucking perfect. I'm even considering using it as a back cover, but it might be a little redundant with the front cover. We'll see. I'll figure it out. But it's great. I love this piece by Michael Rushbrook, and I'm gonna color it or I'm gonna get Jake to do it. More likely, I'll get Jake because I don't have time. But yeah, so
I
if
have
we
time.
get to 30, you totally do. Yeah, thanks for volunteering. if you don't have time, it's fine. This won't be due at the end of February, by the way.
You know,
We're going to finish in April.
It looks great in black and white, but yeah, maybe colored because might as well. But it looks great in black and white too. I always love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love the black and white, but
super
if you want to
cool
make it a
layout.
print, yeah, it's a great layout. Well, I think it's going to if I color it, I would leave everything except the figures and the rip white, like that. I wouldn't color in the outside of it. You know, leave it just plain. I think it's more poignant that way. Yeah, I love that. So there you go. Poignant. Yes, that's the word I'm choosing.
Speaking of Michael Rushbrook's wonderful original art, last week I said that I would give people a week, and then I'd buy the original that he had up. And no, not mine. I'm not talking about mine yet. I'm actually still talking about Fiendish.
Way to interject.
Scroll on the perks. Look, someone bought his original art. Like, it's sold.
Did you buy it?
No, I went and checked today. I would have bought it today if it didn't sell.
Nice.
Someone got it. So someone out there snagged it.
Hell yeah.
It was down there.
It was Alex. Congrats.
Did he get it?
He said it in chat. It was
Nice.
Alex.
Congrats, Alex.
Well, there you go, Alex. You deserve it.
Congrats. Oh, I realized I should have been promoting that original art more. Oh, I'm terrible. Oh, I suck at this. Anyways, it got bought though. All the original art is sold. So there you go. And we have 1 week left of the campaign. The campaign is closing next Saturday. I got it wrong yesterday. Next Saturday night will be the last day for this campaign. And I'm not doing in demand. It's just gonna stop funding.
Wait,
so
I thought it was on Friday. Oh god, I'm not gonna be here.
Wait, what
I'm
day?
still.
Oh, so it's getting close to being. I didn't realize. So it's like over a week.
Yeah. It's a little over a week. So I actually did push it back a day because I want to be on Saturday so I can like be free to stream all day because I'm busy on Fridays. But Friday night I will still do a pre-closeout stream. So I'll stream Friday and Saturday night.
Cool. Sounds good. Let's do it.
I'll be there on
later
Friday.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be fun.
Awesome.
So everyone keep that in mind. Look at that. The numbers looking good. 2.5. Springtide. That's the poster, not the chapter. Yeah.
Speaking of looking good, beautifully claustrophobically zoomed in is this wonderful key art piece for Connell the Barbarian, even more zoomed in.
What? Why did you make it so jaggy? Why is it all?
Yeah, I know. I just thought it would add like bite to the artwork. There you go. Look, it's a sign-up page, guys. You can go to connellcomic.com or bluedickaxe.com and check out Connell the Barbarian and sign up. It's probably full. The series will probably be riddled with laborious yet entertaining Deus Ex Machinas that aren't actually Deus Ex Machinas.
If Jake does them, they're going to be jokes.
Yeah, I've got to put in a Deus Ex Machina in there somewhere, but I just can't bring myself because I'm like, no, it has to be well structured. The ending has to come from Connell's effort to change. It's so lame. But anyway,
just reach within yourself and say, fuck it.
Yeah, to embrace the fuck it. Yeah, if you want to embrace the fuck it, go over to that website and give me your email and sign up. Join the millions. Already sign up. We're almost at 2 million, and as soon as we get to 2 million signups, which we're definitely close to, and it's definitely not 200, I'm gonna do an update stream because like we're almost finished coloring Fiendish 2.5, and I've said that I've been obviously putting off drawing this because I'm busy doing that. As soon as I'm finished coloring and then tweaking the colors, I'm gonna be jumping into Connell, and I'm so fucking looking forward to drawing this. I'm aiming to launch on the 1st of October, aka the beginning of the wonderful holiday of Cocktober, which will be the second Cocktober in CG, and I can't wait. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And then I gotta draw up a storm.
You said next October. Is that you said Cocktober?
This coming October, the 1st of October.
So still a ways off. Still a ways off.
But I'm gonna be drawing it. I'm going to be drawing as much of it in advance as possible. So it's not like people are going to be waiting.
Good plan.
But yeah, I'm going to be doing the month of cock.
And you have the whole thing laid out, which is surprisingly, that's actually a lot of work already done. So
yeah.
All done. Like all the layouts are done. It's all completely written. It's all basically basic pencils. Yay! Bancroft says Cocktober 2.0, thicker and veinier. Yes, we're going to kick off October. Launching Connell. I can't wait. So I'm just gonna be diving into drawing this. It's most of these guys have read it. The people who I've given it to have been entertained by it so far. So yeah, it is a comedic fantasy following the titular character Connell as he inserts himself into yet another wacky adventure where his special power is revealed that no one knows what it is yet. And no one can
not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be the first of a 3-part like story called a Bad Case of Crabs. And so it's going to be a Bad Case of Crabs part 1.
So good.
And, I can't fucking wait. I just want it out already. But yeah, October's going to come before you know it. So get signed up so you can get the trading cards drawn by Irene down here.
Yay.
And then, so yeah. Get it.
I have read it. It is funny. You will laugh.
She finally read the updated version and gave me good feedback.
What?
Jake's like he wasn't a staff writer at Futurama for 20 years, but he might as well have been. That's like his. It's like
I would have been
from the staff writer.
You're born too late.
For Futurama comes Cardinal the Barbarian.
He was born too late to be a staff writer. There, so he's making his own.
Now he just has a staph infection.
I was trying to think of the same joke, Phil.
God damn!
Look out!
Hit you guys.
I just had an epiphany. I'm going through and making one of the final PDFs for the Lost Pages, and one of the pages is the splash page. Is really cool, and I was flipping through my PDF like every time I look at it, and I'm like, this page, the colors look so desaturated on it for some reason. And so I'm going down through Manga Studio, and the main image was like at 95% opacity because I drop it down when I do the letters, and I'm like, damn it, that's what it is. So I fixed
Got
it.
to bump it
Good
up
thing you
again.
caught that.
Yeah, I just caught it just
Yeah.
now.
Cool.
Yeah, but Lost Pages 3, guys, we are basically one page to go. Dan is like 90% done with the second to last page. He says he's going to send it to me in the morning, and that'll be off the colors, and I'll be lettered that up. Everything else is already colored and lettered. And I just got the edits from the editor back today for the main book, sans the epilogue, and the People Ashcan. So I edited those up. All the letters are crispy clean. If you go down to the updates, Narwhal, you'll see I just put out an update today, I think. So all the tomes are done, printed, ready to roll. Let's see what else is, if you keep scrolling down. Oh, there's the layout that I showed. This is Dan's rough thumbnail layout.
Really? That's dull?
That's
great.
Dan's layout for the second to last
Thank
page. So
That's
we got
awesome.
it. Fans of my channel, you'll see there's a barrel in there because we give those barrels away. I had to throw a trash hobo fire for the hobos at the end there. And then the big thing, which closes tomorrow, which is the fan art contest. I'm going to drop the link in the chat here, you guys. I hope I'm modded on your channel. I think I am. Is in the chat. You guys could go and vote in the straw poll that ends before the Diaz Brothers show tomorrow. We got some awesome talent in there. Skunt Artworks. Bobby Crucifix is in the lead, I think, right now. We got awesome fans of our content on there. Elliot Rodriguez, crazy, amazing stuff. Keenma, Johnny Cage is in there. Great stuff. Citizen Ronin, which is the one I voted for. I did vote, guys. But we have like over 200 votes on there. So thank you guys for participating.
Nice.
Super cool.
Yeah,
And then
gotta go vote.
yeah, that last image in the update is just some of my favorite stuff from the People Ashcan. This is part of the double page spread. Lots of action between the people and the silhouette. So if you guys are digging the silhouette from the previous stories, he does make an appearance in this story arc for the people. So we're super close. Like, this is going to be weeks away from going to print, and I have everything lined up beforehand. So we just have to get those last 2 pages done, colored up, lettered up, and we'll be off to the printer getting this stuff out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. And we're almost to 42K, which is super insane. Thank you guys so much. We've been getting backers on the regularly, like a good handful every week this past month. So thank you guys.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. And I'll show this real fast. This is my my eBay store. That's when I did fake cocaine on a movie set.
He was so happy.
Right.
Like, cocaine.
Now I've changed. Now I'm a ghost, a cartoon ghost.
Yes. What a transformation.
Yeah. So a lot foreign agent sold out. So I don't know what to do, because if I order reprints, it's like kind of expensive to just get like 25 more. I'd like to get like, 500 more, but the demand isn't there yet. So you kind of let it build for a little bit, I guess. I might try and do a foreign agent catch up kind of thing or something.
Yeah.
On here is like the new Earthbound campaign's coming out soon. So people can Grand Prix Part 2. So if the Earthbound will be available 1 and 2, but they're also available here. The eBay store has slightly better shipping than Indiegogo does too. They give deals. So if you can look at that, especially if you're overseas, I think to Australia is better deals, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's all like built in, like it calculates it to where you are, right? Specifically.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, it's because it's my friend runs the store, so I don't see a lot of the like behind the scenes numbers.
Okay, cool.
He's doing me a solid and taking a percentage kind of thing for payment, but it's been a good little setup working with him to get the store going finally. Cool.
There's so many books. Damn.
Yeah, I was thinking about this
Awesome.
This past week of like, how long we've been creating books, and then like how many pages we've created. Like looking at you, Narwhal, someone that's just has an awesome catalog already, and just the amount of work that you've put in, like the actual page count is really, really cool. Like just thinking about that, like same stuff with the stuff we're doing and what I've contributed to other campaigns or written stuff. Like that's awesome to see where we are right now. And then
Do you think you're over 1,000 yet, Novel? 1,000 pages?
I was just thinking, I think I might have hit that.
yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. And
Yeah, you
the more
probably have.
pages, the more pages, the better you get at it too. So I'm getting good at comics by this point. So
Yeah,
tune
you
into
better
Grand
be.
Prix. Everyone.
You better be.
Everyone check out Grand Prix. It's gonna be sweet. Grand Prix Part 2.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it feels good to have a catalog of work because
Mhm.
I mean I've done comics for other people, but it's just not the same when it's publisher work for hire. And now once 2.5 comes out, because I've been counting how many pages I have and exactly how much story content I have because I want to put everything together as a trade. And I have about 150 pages of material for just Fiendish now.
Right.
So it's mostly it's like 130 something pages of comic of sequentials, but then I'm gonna have some extra like a 10 or 12 pages of extra content because I have world building stuff. So I can put together 150 page bug. And like it just it feels so good to have something that's yours and not a short comic, not a mini comic, but a whole ass series. It's awesome. Oh, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, that
Makes
is
me
cool.
happy.
You should print it and
Which,
call
by
it
the way,
Spring Tide.
I will do exactly that. And I will say this is Jake's idea. But yeah, I'm gonna do a trade paperback. It's gonna happen. Coming soon.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like thinking of products. Like I'm not scared of that word. Like I like products. Like what book? How are we going to package it? What cover? What collection? What all that stuff. It's fun to think about.
I love that. I love
Oh, they are
product
products.
design, packaging design. I think it's when people you just call the content overall product, like not products. Like you're thinking of like that tome on the Lost Pages campaign. That's a cool little product, but
Yeah,
like the art, the story in general isn't product. Like Phil wouldn't refer to it as his product.
Yeah.
He-
it's kind of
call
like
it
your
story.
body of work or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
you'd call it
product.
your body of work.
Well, it's like what else do you call it? Because the story itself is not a product, but the actual books and the merch that is product. There's no real other word for it because when
Yeah.
it comes to what you're selling physically, you have to think like a business person. But like the story, obviously, we love the stories. It's not just for money.
Mm-hmm.
But
By the
the
way,
story is
we're-
what I think money comes.
The design that goes into it is just super fun, and
It really is.
it's another art form on top of everything we're doing, especially now, that we're in crowdfunding and coming up with something cool and more experimental. Like a lot of people doing the boxes, or like you look at Camel Moon stuff and there's so much design gone into the stuff he's putting out.
I can't wait to do all the design. I'm gonna have a box no matter what. I can't wait to design that. I can't wait to do the presentation of the book, like the little pages at the beginning that have like a pattern on them, but it's like lowered opacity on the pattern, and it has like graphical text for the, and then at the back the graphic design for informational pages to like relay story building stuff. Like, love it.
It's
Love it
so much fun. I just showed an intro page that I did for chapter 2. And, like Bancroft did a flip through of Fiendish. And then I posted this page I have like a last time on Fiendish catch up page because I think comics are supposed to have that, especially if it's a long form comic. There's a lot of information. And people are like, wow, you do that? And I'm like, yeah, didn't you read the book? So I'm a little worried that people aren't reading the book. But let me.
I mean, okay.
Oh
There's
my
a thing about
God.
books. There's a thing about books where I think people don't actually pay attention to the first 2 or 3 pages, and which is why, like, I think it's good to put some title pages and a bit of information at the beginning before you go into your story, Because I think literally if the first page of the book is like the first page of the story, people's brains aren't actually switched on to the experience of reading a book yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Irene, you know who did that? That sticks out in my mind is Mignola and all his Hellboy books and stuff. He would always recap like the origin of Hellboy, or if it was a sequential issue, he'd on the inside cover would put a little blurb on what happened last time.
Loads of manga do it. They'll take like they'll make like a collage of panels from the last story and like put them together with text over the top too. Like I love the character bio pages that they have in mangas too sometimes. Like there's a whole way of representing characters with their job system stuff that I'm looking forward to just having as character bio stuff in the.
You mean like this that I had in Fiendish 2?
You broke her, Mike.
I didn't.
Yeah, well, it is funny. Like,
Simpsons
not
did it.
everyone who backs will read
God
the book, or
damn
they'll
it.
read it like months later, and it's cool. Sometimes it'll trickle in. Sometimes I'll get a comment, people being like, "Just getting around to reading Earthbound, loved it, Narwhal, thanks." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
Oh my
thank
god!
you."
Oh my god!
great.
Please read my books, please.
Just because people didn't know you did a fucking recap page doesn't mean they didn't read the book, Irene. It means it's the
No.
first page in the book and they're flipping through it to get to the story, guys.
Sarkticon DM says Mike Kuhn is barking. He's taking some hits right.
I'm having anxiety when people read. Look, I have this review. Please read the books. I'm Fiendish meant to be. It's not just that. It's like, well, I want people to read it. I want feedback. If I'm doing something wrong, I need to know now before I start on chapter 3. But yeah, anyways.
But by the way, we're second half now. I'm gonna in a second go get a little snack, and I'll be back. I think. But
That's a good idea.
I don't know if I have any videos to play to like market. Is there? I don't have the cat one.
I thought we did the dun 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 dun. Dun. We
Yeah.
did it. We're already
Okay, so
here.
that counts. So we're officially
No,
second
play
half.
anything. Play anything for like 2 seconds to like.
People are gonna think this is like
There
a.
we go. Done. Now we're in the second half. You need that gateway. You need the portal
Okay.
to go through.
Oh.
I agree.
Cool. The most
Okay.
generic
I'm
video.
I'm gonna get another
I'm gonna
water.
go make coffee.
Okay.
So
I'll
Jake,
be
you're on
right
your
back
own.
too. Someone
on
has
your
to
own.
stay behind and talk. Got it. Got it.
All right, I guess it's me. Look at these fucking slackers. All right.
We could
It's
have
time
left.
to-
We could have
it's
left,
time
Irene.
to-
It would have been
Time to
hilarious.
burn their stream down. No, Jake, this is my decision. Don't tell me what to do. I'm here because I'm going to be the responsible one, and I'm going to burn Narwhal's stream down because this is what you get for leaving the stream with me. Yeah, exactly. So, hello. Hi, everybody. Hi. You see, I have like holes in my shirt. I'm such a hobo. Look at this.
I'm
I
back.
didn't
Hey,
realize I've done
Irene,
many
that happens to me
holes.
too. You got bony elbows.
No, I got bony elbows, and I do this thing where I like pulling my long sleeve shirts over my hands because my hands are always cold. So I like doing this, and then I just start tearing my sleeves right here. I have multiple shirts where that have a tear right here, and I'm like, I'm just gonna have to repeatedly sew them back together. This is how I ruin clothes. Actually,
You get big,
I should
fat,
just
chubby
cut-
elbows like me.
I should just cut holes in my clothes and make it like it was done on purpose. Booyah.
Yeah, a lot of my
All right.
shirts are like,
Now I'm gonna
Look,
go
look.
make coffee.
Like, here's like a recap page from prison school of like the moment with this nipple had distracted her during the arm wrestle.
should I do a recap? I don't know if I should. I don't know.
I mean, you don't have it would be if you did a second tome, the recap for the first tome would be at the beginning of the second tome. Do you know what I mean?
All right.
But I'll probably put something like this at the beginning of each Connell thing. But I would do something stylistic and humorous with it. Like with the in the story itself, there's trading cards of characters that exist because it's like an ID for them. So I'm trying to add, what is it? Some diegetic.
Dianetic.
Diegetic. No, diegetic, like diegetic sound. It's sound from the world. Some diegetic information stuff. So like if you'd have a trading card, it would be a representation of an actual thing that exists in their world. Whatever.
Here's my
So-
little blurb at the front of the Lost Pages tome. It says, In a world, many stories are told, many stories are heard, and many stories are lost. These are those stories in the Book of Lost Pages, held together by this paper and kept alive by your minds, telling tales of the heroes that keep the ink of life flowing, the heroes that will come together to write the end of the world.
Went on a bit.
That's what it says.
Neat.
I didn't
You
write it.
Oh, to actually went for the inner world opening.
Yeah. Oh, it's inner world, not inner world.
I know. Yeah, every time the movie trailers say inner world, they mean in the internal world.
Hey, Camel Moon says Dianetics are way better though.
TC says diabetic. Yeah, diabetic information in the book. Jake is a Scientologist. I've always wondered what it would be like to go and have one of those first sessions in the Scientology thing, and then if you could get out
Right.
without,
Yeah.
if you could get out free and get an escape, if you could fly close enough to the sun and not have your wings burnt.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be hard. That'd be rough.
So you had a good Valentine's Day, Phil?
Yeah, dude. It was awesome. I got Asian massage.
Oh, I get it. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Well, I treated the girlfriend to an Asian massage.
Oh, they do it with women too?
What? Yeah. It's a couple's massage. We're in the same room that was curtained off by a
Do you
hanging
face
curtain.
each other? If it's a couple's massage, do they make the tables face each other?
No, they're next to each other. It's one table. We lay stacked on top of each other like a patty and bun.
You go for the top or the bottom?
I didn't have a choice. I was on the bottom. But yeah, it was fun. And then we went to go get Korean fried chicken, which is, if no one's had it, is amazing double fried chicken. But the place was, we got there too late. Their kitchen was closed, even though they're open for another 20 minutes.
That happens. That always happens when I go to Jimmy John's. It's like you bitches close at 9 and it's 8:30 and
Right. What are you doing open? Just cut your hours
lazy.
then.
Well,
Update
the
Google.
lights are on in the back and I can see people in there, but they like lock the doors. I'm like, I know you're supposed to be open for another 30 minutes, but your manager is clearly not here tonight, bitches.
Dude, Alex, it was Banchan. Yeah, Banchan double fried chickens, Korean. They're a Californian-based place, but now they've moved out to the rest of the country. So we got a couple over here, and they're freaking great. They have a robot waiter, guys. We're living in the future.
Is it powered by plutonium?
It's a plutonium. It has a cute anime cat face that greets you, and they put the food on it. It's basically a shelving unit connected to a hover around vacuum cleaner.
We're taking over. Yes, my
And
people are
winning.
winning.
To go to each table to drop off the food. So we were going to go there, but it was closed. So instead,
those goddamn Asians and putting faces on everything.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Just making everything cute and adorable. That's how you take over the world, man. Just make everything cute. Like Japan has anime characters on some of their fighter jets. Like that's the way to go. Like how can you just shoot that down? It's so kawaii.
I mean, that is just the kind of like modern day Asian version of the pinup girl painted on the side of the fucking hedge fund.
Yeah, it is. That's just how it is in Asia. People are like, oh, they're all weirded out, and it's like, no, you don't understand. It's just Asia just wants everything to be cute. It's just how we function. No, you have America is remarkably averse to cute, and it annoys me a lot. I like things to be cute. Everything being cute is good.
So we ended up not seeing that cute robo waiter. We went to Kuma's Corner, which is a heavy metal burger.
Oh, I've been to Kuma's Corner a lot.
Have you?
Man,
You never been to? No, you went to. You're talking about It's not Coomer's
you live.
corner.
It's a corner of my bedroom.
Where you are right now.
It's Kuma.
Your corner
Kuma.
right now. As
Well,
you tap
it's a
on your Belle
Kuma's
Delphine
corner.
keyboard.
No, Kuma like a bear.
Hey. I'm on the NES wireless keyboard now. Look, we're in a new era. We're in a new era of giant NES keyboard. We haven't got the.
Now you're a
Delphine.
man, Jake. I am a man.
Wait, does this mean I'm a man? Having a child's toy
I
replica keyboard?
I wouldn't say that's particularly manly, but at
Such
least
a
you're not. You're
keyboard.
slightly less of a coomer.
my wife's boyfriend bought me this for Christmas.
Oh my god! Someone's gonna clip that and say that.
My wife's boyfriend bought me my NES keyboard for Christmas. Oh my god! I'm so happy she stayed with
Mine
him.
is mini. Mine is tiny. It's a tiny
would
little
be.
Bluetooth because it fits my hands. I like the little ones because they're easier to type on.
She likes the little ones, ladies and gentlemen.
Keyboards.
Anyways, I went to
Keyboard.
Kuma's Corner. It's a heavy metal bar that plays horror movies, and they have burgers that are named after heavy metal bands. And they use seed oils in their frying things, so that was unfortunate. But it's
Oh,
good.
no.
Good food.
Are seed oils what you would refer to as emulsifiers? Or is that a different thing? Do you guys
No.
think about emulsifiers over in the US of gay?
No, we don't. There
No,
was.
is that what they do in Gay Britainland?
I would call laxatives.
I love your creativity on that return volley insult, Irene. I need to say it.
I
need to say
didn't
it
think.
again.
I didn't think that through very well. Would you like me to try harder?
Yeah, go on. Make fun of my
Goddamn.
teeth or something. Something about teeth.
Did your teeth falling out?
I mean, that's way too. His teeth are actually falling out, though.
Yeah, I
Look,
heard about that.
where was it in the chat a few days ago? He was literally like, "Oh, we're just talking about some other shit," and all of a sudden, Jake is like, "So my tooth is falling out."
Yeah, I
Some
remember.
of
I'm
my
like,
tooth
why?
crumbled out of my head. Look, it's fine.
That's
I've
That's not
kept it.
supposed to happen.
I've kept it on the little table next to my sofa. I like looking at it. I appreciate how hard the tooth is. It's really cool. It's a very interesting material.
Yeah.
It's just the inner side of the tooth that's crumbled off. So the outside of the tooth looks fine.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Darn.
inside
I have
of it.
nightmares about that. You're living my nightmare.
His answer to why are your teeth falling out of your head was just, "I'm British." Okay, that was funny.
British.
Comes with the territory. Michael Rose says enamel is the hardest thing on the human body. Yeah, it's just a shame that when you get like a crack in the enamel, it's all over from there.
Mhm.
Everything
Yeah, I
gets
don't have
No, no,
great enamel either.
You got it wrong. It's all ogre now.
Ha 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 ha.
Jake liked it.
Do you think if your girlfriend, just as not your girlfriend, Phil, anyone's
My girlfriend?
girlfriend, got dressed up as a Princess Fiona Shrek version, ogre version, you still would?
Sure. Yeah, she just paints herself green. I mean, I'm fine with
Yeah.
that.
But she got the ears too.
Yeah,
Does ogre Fiona have the Shrek ears?
yeah, she's got the ears, I think.
Yeah, she
Are
does.
Shrek ears a problem for you?
No, I can imagine they're probably.
She's
quite
also got
sensitive.
huge cans.
She does. She has a massive ass too.
At what point do you stop being a furry? Where's that line, boys?
I don't think having sex with ogres is furry. It's like having
Well,
sex with elves. Having sex with elves isn't furry.
right.
You know,
Whatever
20 years
it's
now.
called, whatever cross species fornication is called.
It's just called hot, Irene. It's just called hot.
I've been saying for a long time, I can't wait
Build
to
into
go
it.
anthro with some comics. I'm going to make so much money. It's going to be sweet.
Go full furry.
Okay,
Yeah, they
all right. I'm
love-
discovering so much. Well,
Well, This
my
week I
comic
discovered
has no interspecies sex at all.
mine definitely does. Mine definitely does.
I would never do something like that in my fantasy world.
This week I discovered that the hottest color of Twi'lek is pure white.
Really?
Really?
Pull up a
I
picture.
can't-
I didn't know that.
Man,
I thought they were all blue or red. Or
that's
blue-
what I
they're
mean.
white
I've never
ones?
seen a blue one, a red one, an orange one, a green one. Never seen a pure
Oh.
white one. Someone did some
Even
AI art of a
white
white
supremacy.
Twi'lek, and I'm like, holy shit. That's
This
like the dominant.
sounds like it's about to be really racist.
Right.
Well,
So like
It's
white
accidentally
supremacy
racist.
carries over to Twi'leks too.
I just about
Yeah, I just about
pull up a
too.
picture.
I can't believe you said that.
Totally. Totally.
I'm trying to find
Hey,
it. I think it
I'm
was
framing
ages
what
ago.
they said. This isn't my opinion. Duh.
White.
Yeah.
White
Oh,
Twi'leks.
man, I hope I have a girlfriend one day who's willing to just wear the elf ears and a circlet around their head.
And a what
show-
around their head?
So
little
everybody
circlet
here
thing,
wants
The
The
gem on
problem
the
is-
front.
Oh, like
Yeah,
Zelda?
like you could find a girl who does that, but she'll be a psycho.
Oh,
to.
You can't have both.
Yo, have you seen the Zelda 1990s or 80s cartoon?
the what
Yeah.
cartoon?
Zelda, Legend of Zelda cartoon. It was like made by
The
all
one
the
where-
animation studio that did like Care Bears and all that shit. It's
think
so
I have.
ridiculous. I watched one episode because it's on for free on like Paramount Plus or whatever. And Link is always
Isn't an
like
asshole? Is he
he's
an
trying to
asshole?
sass Zelda. And multiple times in this show, he goes, "Well, excuse me, princess." It's hilarious. I'm gonna
That's
clip
awesome.
this and make it into a stinger for the show.
Better bring it up.
That's kind of like what Han Solo says. I forget what he says though.
No, but Link, there's no exaggeration. He literally says that.
I found it. 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 Share my screen.
Cool.
AI. You want an AI girlfriend?
But look, it's a white Twi'lek with the black
Oh, that's
tribal
what a
tattoos.
Twi'lek is. Yeah.
The black is cool contrast there.
It's pretty hot.
Just
She's
saying.
got that uncanny. That's like definitely AI. She's got those like Chinese cutesy filter faces features. It's like fun
The
being
important
seen,
part-
but on a shit ton of AI filters.
But the important part is she's like flat white. New color unlocked equals the best Twi'lek.
Why am I so white?
Yeah, that's
Jesus
cool.
Christ.
Because you're a Twi'lek in disguise.
If only.
No takers. No one as excited as me.
No, it looks good. Pretty.
If only they were real. Although I suppose you could just get a lot of latex and like make the head thing.
Now,
'Cause
now we know what Jake's into. Anyone out there who wants to pursue Jake, just dress up like this, wear a Twi'lek head thingy.
But why are the head things so attractive? Because it's not hair.
They're
It is
not
like
that
two-
attractive.
But
They're
it's
not
something to-
attractive.
It's
The head-
something to
the
hold
head
on
thing?
to, I would assume.
They have like weird skinhead Jar Jar Binks rabbit
Oh, you're
ears.
talking about those things? I thought you meant like a little stupid crown that goes on her forehead.
No, not the
That's
wig
just
under
to
the
cover
thing. And the second
costume.
pair of fucking eyebrows up here.
Well, I can tell you the reason you think they're attractive
Go on then, Phil, and get
is
ready
because
for
they're
a
phallic and you
phallic
can insert them into
reference.
yourself. Wow.
I like that they're thicker at the base and they kind of taper off at the end, that kind of thing.
Sure you do. Pull up my
Okay.
screen here. Narwhal.
Cam
Okay.
1138 says head boobs. Maybe
What's
you could
that
have a
splashing
parody.
on her face?
Aren't head
It's
boobs. Those are
water.
head tentacles.
There you go.
And
You
tentacles.
sure?
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
That's awesome.
And then there's this
Wait,
one.
what?
Well,
What was
excuse me, princess.
Was
Oh
the
my
original
God.
like that, or is that adjusted?
And
Is
this one's
that
a joke.
Link?
Yeah,
That's
this is
not
a Zelda
Link.
Yeah,
show
that's Link from the animated series.
Why is what?
Because
Why
Americans
does he look
made it.
Spanish?
Excuse
That's so-
me, princess. No,
So he's
Señorita princess.
He's
Princess.
insufferable.
Hey, Excuse
That's
me.
funny.
They
princess.
semi-blackwashed him and made him obnoxious. That's the most American thing I've ever seen.
No, this is literally his catchphrase in the whole series. It's ridiculous. Does he say
Yeah,
that
it's
in the
kind of
game a lot?
annoying.
Yeah, all time.
Does he really say it in the game?
Why
Yeah,
is he brunette?
I never played the game. So.
Miyamoto was like fighting tooth and nail to get a special button put on the controller.
Making
where
it up.
It only worked. It only worked with Zelda, and whenever you pressed it, Link would say "Excuse me," and the longer you would hold the button down, the more the excuse would get elongated. And it nearly bankrupted Nintendo, but
Yeah.
Does Link never talk? Romy says Link never talks.
he goes, "Huh? Huh? Hey, hey,
We up. That's what he says, right?
hey, yeah."
Yeah.
I only know that because of Smash Brothers.
Stop. Oh my god.
The only Zelda game I played was Super Smash Brothers.
Link only makes noises that can be edited.
That's when he
Special
spins.
Yeah. Luxino. Yeah, Michael got it right. Luxino. They
Oh, he's-
Luxino'd Link.
He's the Tinks.
Latinian.
that's what it
He's
looked like.
Latinian. They Latinified.
Darth Latinian. Let's see who's winning this poll here. Let me go to the results.
Phil's looking at a poll.
God damn, Bobby's pulling away
Bill
with
likes
it
his polls.
by 20%.
Bobby.
I would appreciate the polls if they were attached to the head of a white Twi'lek.
Skunk is pulling up close second with 99 votes.
Nice.
And
So
then
did you like Bancroft's read through of your entire second book on stream?
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks for spoiling everything, Bancroft. But no, I think at this point it's been out. The book's been out for like half a year, so fucking shit. Everybody has had time to read it, and honestly, now that I realize a lot of people haven't read the book, even though they got it, maybe this will incentivize people to read it because it's like I can talk about it all day, but that doesn't help because of course I'm gonna say my book's great, read it. Like it's and Bancroft was very positive about it, so I appreciate it. And I asked for honesty, so that's what I always want. And I want to hear people's feedback and I want people to read the book. So yeah, maybe this will incentivize more people to read it, and I think it was good. So thanks.
I read it.
I think it incentivized some people to buy it. It's actually the kind of content that would make me buy a book if I hadn't picked it up yet. Because you're like looking at
actually
it and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got quite a few backers. So it was probably a combination of I was streaming. I did the push for 30K, but Bancroft also did the review all at the same day. So it was awesome. It was perfect. I think that's part of why we got to 30K on 2.5. No, it was good because Michael flipped through the whole thing, but he didn't like read the whole thing though. I mean, I joked that it was spoilers, but you still have to read it for the details because like I spent a lot of time on the dialogue and the nuances matter. Hopefully it all plays out in a way that makes that obvious.
I can't even do a how to Fiendish 2 stream like I did with the first one because it's like I have no original thoughts now. I read it so long ago. The thoughts aren't fresh anymore. It would be like, because the first time it's like I read it the day before and then we streamed. And so like there were all new thoughts and there was like so many questions.
I mean, you can still do one. I'm sure you would. I don't know. I think don't underestimate your originality.
No, Jake doesn't stream on his channel.
Oh, right. You're a non-streaming channel. Your channel is only for streaming once a month.
When I get to 200 signups for Connell, I said I'd do a Connell the Barbarian update stream. And I was thinking of doing a gameplay stream playing Tomb Raider. Then I decided to just play it on my own.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Jake.
Yeah, I did the
But like, you know what? You know what would be really comfy and enjoyable? Not streaming this game. You know what would be nice and cozy? Just playing it on my own at home.
Jake, you gotta put in the effort, man. It's like dieting or working out. It's hard to get it going, but you have to get on the schedule. So
hard
you
to
get on
stop
that nagging feeling every day. I have to stream. And it's hard at first. I remember starting out, it was hard because it was like nobody in chat, and it just felt like it feels like shit.
Oh, it's not hard.
Early on, and
my chat was awesome. I loved streaming. Like honestly, I loved streaming.
It was hard for me when I literally would have nobody watching, and I'm like, this is the lamest shit ever. But it's so much easier when there's people.
I watched the earliest stream that you had on your channel to be like, what does she used to stream like? And it was like a coloring. It was a coloring stream for the cover of the preview book. It was.
I did that too, Jake.
Did you watch the same one?
No, not at all. I didn't do that.
Oh. I was like, Phil, that's weird.
Yeah,
just me.
What? You're mocking Jake.
You did a
what
good
did
job.
You think of it?
Like you did a good job with having like 2 or 3 people there to talk to. You did a very good job presenting
Thanks. I tried. I was a lot more nervous though. It was so hard at first, but you got to stick with it. No, it's easy. You just have to have no problem looking like a fucking fool, which is what I learned.
Well, you know me. I really worry about image constantly.
Yeah, you really need to maintain your pristine composure and your reputation.
A lot of dignity. I need to hold on to.
Matters a lot. Yeah.
But no, I think I don't know. I stopped getting ideas. I liked every stream. I honestly wanted to think of a silly new idea to start it off with. Like there was one where I got the background image to be an overlay so I could still be on the screen and talking whilst the overlay was there. And I put the reverb on and I was like, hello, like I was in space. It was great. Your
streams are just you fucking around with this.
It was fun. There was one where I got drunk and did karaoke of like I just did loads of karaoke on my own.
Oh my god. Jake is good at having fun with himself, guys.
Yeah, remember that drunk remember that drunk birthday stream?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, yes. But he wasn't alone that one, but that was pretty he did get drunk and fall off his chair. It was pretty epic.
No, that was a different stream. That wasn't the birthday stream. The birthday stream, I was in the living room still. It was before I moved to this room.
Yeah.
But I wasn't alone for that one either. I had my wonderful friends with me.
Now we have friends. You don't have to be alone.
I just liked thinking of silly performing arts ideas for each stream.
That's great. That's great. I think some people are more natural presenters. Like you just have to loosen up. It's I don't know, and it's not even like part of it is not taking yourself too seriously, but it's also, at least for me, I wasn't worried about like my image. I was more worried about saying the wrong thing, and it feels like everybody is like watching every word. That's a lot of stress. Now I just don't care because I've given all my stupid opinions, so whatever. You guys already know what an idiot I am.
Yeah,
you certainly have.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You've helped. Thanks, friend.
I like that I made you make you stream members.
Yeah, I can. Really, I'm not gonna take responsibility for that shit. Thanks.
I did that whole thing on my own channel, by the way, and it's still up on one of them. I did the tour around the world with different accents in my own stream.
That wasn't bad though. Like that's not even. I don't even have a problem with that.
Okay.
It's just YouTube.
Jake is a presenter. He sticks his butt in the air and he presents. Yeah. He's presenting.
Oh man. Oh, God. This instant coffee sure is helping. I wish I could show the stuff I'm working on. You might have to go.
This book is so
in a bit,
long.
not right now. What are you working on?
Working on a cover that I owe somebody. I have so much shit to do. Yeah, I have 2 covers. I have a cover rough, and I have to finish penciling another cover this weekend.
Within a month's time, I'm going to be drawing Connell.
Ooh, that's awesome.
And I don't know whether I'm going to do it at this drawing board at this desk or do it with the drawing board on my lap, classic teenager style in the living room.
I'm just a teen with angst, and I draw on my lap.
With a giant drawing board whilst watching cartoons. with about 5 cans of Monster around. There's got to be a point in time during Connell where I decide to buy 3 more cases of Monster to get shit tons of pages done.
Speaking of cartoons, are you going to be watching the new X-Men 97 series whilst you draw your Carnal comic?
I found the original lame, so I think I'm probably going to find this version brutal lame. I was never into superheroes when I was younger, Phil.
They're more than superheroes, Jake.
They're like friends to me. They were there for me when no one else was. When I was getting kicked in the ditch at school, when I dropped my backpack in the puddle, Rogue was there for me, dude.
This is the first time I've witnessed a conversation just between you two, and this is quite something to behold.
Yeah.
He's just yelling quotes and references at each other.
Wasn't a quote. I made that up.
We're
School
pretty
improv.
cool.
There's a reference.
I did watch some Johnny Bravo recently, Phil, and I was thinking of you.
Nice.
Rainey, if you've never seen a conversation with me and Phil before, Phil was the person who came on my streams the most.
Yeah.
It was great. He walked around C2E2 once.
Yeah.
He showed me the arcade once.
Yeah, Irene, where were you?
I was drawing.
Yeah. Likely story.
Drawing a bat.
Yeah, actually, very likely.
Drawing a bat.
No, it is very likely, and I don't take that. I'm just filthy all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't bathe.
No, I don't. There's just the only way you bathe is by taking a bath.
Wait, does no one else have baths at least every now and then?
No,
Phil
I'm
definitely doesn't have a bath.
6'5", Jake. I can't fit in a bath.
You just gotta get a special bath.
Well, I don't.
Chili cat. That's so funny. It never even occurred to me.
Yeah, I don't have a bath. I mean, I have a bath, but I can't take a bath.
Do you shake your fist at it every time you walk past the bathroom? You redundant waste of space.
Oh my god. Well, I'm allergic to relaxing, so I don't take baths.
I need like one of those rich people like baths that have like jets in it.
I want to take a bath right now.
You mean a hot tub? You can get a whole hot tub.
Like there's hot tubs, but like in very expensive houses, they'll have like in the master bathroom. It'll
be a really expensive house. You live in like a big mansion, right? From that video, we saw your house.
Exactly. But they'll have like big bathtubs that have like a lounging indent in it that you like sit in, and then it has all jets and stuff, and you could fit like 4 people in that thing.
It's a hot tub. It's a jacuzzi hot tub thingamajig.
I guess
it's called a jacuzzi.
You don't pronounce it. Be like a jacuzzi. Well, I used to date this girl whose family was very well off, and her parents had that in their bathroom.
Yeah, I've been in hotels where they have that. It's nice.
Whenever I get in the bath, the water doesn't go behind me because it gets blocked off.
Spa tub.
Do you ever have that problem?
Not that I'm saying I was ever in
know what
that.
I'm describing? You basically become a dam in the middle of the bath, touching both sides.
Oh my god!
Good bath.
Oh my god!
You need like just 2 inches of water, and then because of the water displacement, you get in, and then it automatically.
No, I'm saying you sit in the bath while it's filling up, and then only half of the bath ends up with water in it because you're in the middle.
Baby bathtub? Like, what the fuck? Oh my god!
What is that great dam called?
The Hoover Dam.
The Hoover Dam. You like a Hoover Dam in the middle of your own bathtub.
Hoover Dam's his bathtub. Oh my god!
Have you never?
You are not that wide. How is that fucking possible?
It's a small. I live in England. It is a small bath. Yeah. But yeah, if you sit in the bath, because you want to get acclimatized to the temperature of the water, and you want to be bathing as quickly as possible. So you run it whilst you're in it. It's part of the fun, right? You get to have the tension building of it filling up, and then you realize the half of the bath behind you has no water in it yet, and so you squish to the side. Bankrupt says Jake can take comics into the tub. Okay, listen. Sometimes I do set up a Bluetooth speaker to play like the sound of the YouTube video that's playing on my phone that's propped up and listen. Maybe sometimes I have a candle. And yes, sometimes maybe I'll take something to read and have it by the side and not read it, but it'll get water on it anyway.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I wish I had time to relax and do shit like that. That would be nice. Let's say you shall not pass
to the water. This is my end of the bath.
Jake's the 3 Gouts Dam.
The 3 Gouts Dam. Then you shift to the side and it's like fucking Niagara Falls.
Yeah, he just flooded the plains of China.
No, I'll do what I did as a kid on the toilet. Phil wasn't even here for this. Phil, earlier on, I was saying as a kid, before we had like phones and stuff to play games on the toilet, I got an extension cable and I moved my TV and my GameCube to the bathroom so I could play Simpsons Hit and Run whilst I was on the toilet.
Wow, that's amazing.
You could do that in the bath. I could get GameCube in the bath. The CRT
Aircraft
TV.
said he has to draw this.
I'm not drawing myself. That's really redundant. If it was someone else's story, I'd gladly draw it, but I'm not.
We'll draw a cartoon version of that. Just Cardinal in his giant. Well, I don't know. Somehow
really
damming off a river. Yeah, or his superpower damming off a river.
If Connell had to get fat for a story, he would overdo it. He would get really fat. He'd get Bender in Anthology of Interest 2 fat.
There you go.
Where he became a human. No, nobody.
I remember that. Yeah, and then he died. We thought he was talking, but it was just gas.
But he said "woo."
He didn't say woo. That was just gas leaving.
There are some fucking moments in cartoons that just make me fucking die. Him saying "woo," and then Professor Farnsworth, "It was just air escaping from the folds in his fat." Like that line, and then the particular "woo." The other one is where Homer has a day off from church and his house ends up burning down, and Ned's gonna push him out the window, and he throws the mattress out, and he knocks him out. God lead his body like noble and true or whatever, and he knocks him out the window, and then he like goes yeah, then smashes back through the living room window after bouncing off the mattress, and then Ned's like, okay. When I was a kid, I had that on VHS, and I would keep rewinding it and rewatching that exact moment because the physical comedy would just fucking have my sides splitting. I was fucking laughing.
That is
I was in tears.
pretty funny. That's pretty great. Comedy sounds like fun.
Hold on, do you remember that moment, Irene? I'll pull it up right now.
No, I'm imagining it in my head as you describe it, and I'm laughing at my own imagination.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. Null, Shema's friend. Okay, hopefully you can hear this.
Dear Lord, may your loving hand guide Homer to the mattress square and true.
His finger is like a smash through the window.
It's so fucking perfect because you have like the little Ned's little thing, but then the 3 steps up to the smash. It's just the audio design is perfect.
Dear Lord, may your loving hand guide Homer to the mattress square and true.
The sound where it just fades away like.
Dear Lord, may your loving hand guide Homer to the mattress square and true.
Yeah, that's awesome.
good.
By the way, I'll probably end the
okay,
stream in
we
the
get-
next
we get it.
10 minutes. guys.
Please.
Okay.
He's just gonna play it on repeat the whole 10 minutes. My God.
Yeah.
I gotta make a clip for my own stream when I eventually do one, which is that clip over and over and over and over and over and over for
So
10
good.
fucking minutes.
Oh my God. That's your new intro instead of the Boogie Boogie Hedgehog. You're just like,
10 minutes of
over and over.
it. But then you'd YouTube poop it, you'd play it in reverse, and you go, yeah.
Oh my God, everybody would just think your channel's cursed and never watch it. Oh,
It already
me,
is cursed.
let's go.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with this
Yeah.
sexy robot?
Sexy robot lying in the street. Sexy
that's
robot.
pretty cool.
Is he
I
God?
like this image. That's pretty cool. It's
This
like
looks
a
freaking
version of
awesome.
AI Evangelion. Yes,
AI Evangelion.
Yes, I approve.
It's courtesy of Jake's wife's boyfriend.
Yeah.
My wife's boyfriend, Bobby
That's
the
like the
Netscaper.
starter kit meme. Jake's wife's boyfriend starter kit. Oh yeah, and there's Mike Coon. Nice.
Oh,
Here's
Mike
Jake's
Coon.
face all effed up because of OBS Studio.
Oh, look, it's Strong Bad. Holy shit.
I did it. I fucking did it. I don't know what his voice is.
Oh, that's great.
He sounds
Here's
like a
Jake going go
early Mexican.
out of the steam.
Oh,
It's like a steam
great.
ghost.
Wait, is that the ghost of the Eva leaving it, his whatever body, and is Jake scouting?
It's called they.
Scouting
It's called
ghost?
they. Irene, get with the times.
Oh, they them. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. The Eva self. Zur Eva self.
Yeah, let me see if I. Oh, I block it no matter what. I don't know how to make myself not block.
Just
I
kill
can read
yourself.
it to
Can
you guys though.
You need to make a version of the icon that ducks.
Wait, can't you just move the image window? Like
I can, but I
and
have to open
and-
OBS. I guess I can do that. Let me see.
Already
Wait,
open.
wait.
There's me. I look pretty cool.
Yeah, I was about to say Phil's the coolest one in this. Why do we always want to say the same thing?
Where am I? Am I the rainbow? Oh, I'm with the rainbow rose, of course. Thanks.
Ah,
Oh,
Nice.
it's so cute.
Just don't talk.
Yay.
All right, I'll go.
okay, now they both line up. Okay,
Yay.
let me see.
Oh, yeah, see, this is when I was talking about I was talking
Oh wait,
about
I'm the rainbow guy.
my new
Aw.
Genius comic. All the other superheroes get jealous, they dig up dirt on him, and yada yada, he turns evil. That's exactly what happens.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, there's sexy Twi'lek white chick, I think.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
cool 'cause
hey.
it's good she's the sexiest one because it's the most possible with the least amount of body paint.
Look at this. What's this
Yeah,
squatty
that's
potty thing? You see this?
Oh, is that what that is?
You can like
It's
barely see. I'm blocking it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
Oh my
it's
God.
it's from killing the
Oh,
old
no,
people
it's
right at
from-
the beginning.
Yeah,
The
with the
handrails.
handlebars. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh
It's
no,
the-
this Eva just smashed through an old people's home and destroyed all their carefully designed toilets. Oh, the humanity.
Bring back retarded sci-fi.
That was a
Jake
good
with
one.
the
It's from Jake.
Rose.
If
That's
you were there,
funny.
you'd be on so many drugs you wouldn't remember it. Yeah, bring back retarded sci-fi.
Turns out I installed a self-destruct mechanism. It's so stupid it becomes smart. Wouldn't it be cool if a T-Rex fought the robot? Too late. Now we'll never know.
Womp womp.
The robot's been defeated. He's just chilling. Oh,
What?
because Strong
Yeah.
Bad got him.
Yep.
So that is
Yeah.
irrelevant.
I did it. I fucking did it. What is in the bottom left corner? Like it's right in the bottom left. There's like a little thing.
It's the hedgehog.
It's-
Shrek.
It's Zelda saying,
Oh.
"Well,
Oh.
hello, princess."
It's cut off for us.
Nice.
Yeah, we can see it. That was
Is that
funny.
Yeah.
Irene?
Hold on,
I
I
didn't
can
know what the
adjust that
2B.
too.
Oh, yeah, she's
Yes,
the one with the
that's-
big boots.
Oh my
Oh, there he is.
God. Look at my
I
cool
guess
hoverboard.
I couldn't tell because both me and Jake are very effeminate, are very feminine. So
That
I
makes
guess
sense.
the
It's like real life.
Yeah, the white-haired one is me. And this
I'm going to
time.
criticize
Correct.
Berserk.
I'm
There
sorry,
have
guys.
to be consequences and a payoff. Or maybe Irene, you should read it. Sorry.
There have to be consequences and a payoff. Suddenly, the kid has a heart attack and dies. If it was played seriously, the audience would be pissed. That's exactly how I said it.
You know, when we put these in the email, it would be funny if each of us wrote what we thought was about.
It's too much effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too
The
meta.
point,
I'm gonna do that. Come
If
on,
it's just
let's be
typing something-
realistic.
if it's just typing something, I could do it. Whoever made the email could describe
I'll
what
do-
the meme represents.
I'll
They
use
could
text to
lie.
speech on mine.
Strong Bad is the god in the machine. He just
Ooh.
appears in multiple
Yeah.
stories.
He defeats everyone this fight.
Wow.
He defeats everyone.
What do you say, Phil?
All the other superheroes get jealous, so they dig up dirt on him, yada yada, and he turns evil. That's how I'm gonna. That's gonna be the twist in the story. That I
You
read.
did say that. You trailed off for your pitch because you were
Yeah.
getting into the weeds. Because the
Yeah.
beginning was great, but you hadn't worked out the rest. So you're like,
Yeah.
like turns evil or something. I don't know.
No, it was superhero comes to planet. All the superheroes hate him because he's OP.
Yep.
They dig up dirt on him. Turns out he already wiped out a whole Earth by trying to reverse time.
Yeah, I know. That's the part that he had worked out. That was, but then at the end, he's like, but then he like gets a girlfriend on Earth. He really likes her. History repeats. He
Becomes
like, turns
obsessive.
evil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You were
The-
Jake zoned out or something. The pitch was so
I
long.
guess I
Can't
was-
remember.
You need a Deus Ex Machina in there to make it interesting.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That was what you said
Totally.
when he said that, Jake. You said what you just said.
That's true.
Oh, what a disaster.
This is all of a sudden Jake's quote makes more sense.
I would have remembered it if I wasn't on so many drugs.
Yeah. You're on
Thank you, Alex.
anti-gout drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
anti-goutinol.
Lots of
And
fun.
multiple other problems.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun Easter
Good job.
Easter eggs.
I like the visuals. That's cool. And it's Ex Machina. That's why it's a giant mecha.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry. The giant machine.
Wouldn't that have to be a robot that got turned into a human because it's an Ex Machina?
No,
Oh, it
Ex
says, look at what's in
Machina,
there.
God out of machine. So the god is the Jake Gout. Gout Jake flying out of the machine.
What is in my hands? It's a button, but I don't understand.
The remote.
That's probably the
It's
That's
a
probably the machine
self-destruct.
you
It's a
press.
self-destruct mechanism.
Oh.
You press the right button and you self-destruct.
By the power of the 6 combined gout crystals, I transform into.
Oh, so maybe
Bucket of gout.
maybe
pitch-
I defeated the monster by self-destructing it, and
yeah.
then Strong Bad is trying to take credit.
I did
Yes.
it. I
Is
fucking
that
What a
did it.
fun-
cunt. What a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's a
Now
pretty
we'll
big
never know.
douche.
Alex BRB bingo. Well, nice. He's giving away
Nice.
his secrets.
This is a
Strong
good
Bad
one.
freaking
Good
always
one.
taking credit. But yeah, we're
Good
gonna
one,
release the slides and this meme as a PDF and Reenie's presentation from last week, and probably maybe like the next two also. Maybe that'll begin the cycle. Like Reenie's will begin the cycle, and all
Tagsy last in the cycle.
yeah.
What?
So
Well-
we're gonna make a shared drive and upload so they're just all in one spot, and then you just put them in a PDF. Pretty simple. And
Yeah,
then
I got
we
all
will
my
have-
previous PD or the previous slides. That's
Yeah,
what
maybe we
I
can do
feel
that.
like-
Go back. We can go back to you
Yeah.
guys.
I'm the last in the cycle, though.
No.
Okay, maybe-
I Bagsy being last. I'm saying it right now. I'm calling it.
Are you next week, Jake? I think you
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Why do you want to be last
technically
in the
first.
cycle?
we haven't started the mailing list yet.
Yeah, we
It's
haven't.
Yeah,
the first
that-
time hearing
Yeah,
about
that's
this
set up.
because I don't read the chat.
Yeah,
so-
Phil, get ready. You got a whole new load of work to do.
Yeah. So, surprise.
Fine.
Nothing
We're
was
just gonna
decided,
push
Phil. It's
responsibility.
okay.
TC
I was
says,
pushing.
I read
it's okay,
these
Phil, I was
memes, but
pushing
I
back
haven't
heavily.
read Fiendish.
You've read Fiendish. You've read Fiendish. Come on.
I read
know you've
memes,
read
but I haven't
Fiendish.
read Fiendish. Yeah.
I read meme dish.
That is to say, I'd read it.
Oh my gosh.
This sounds
Give me my
funny.
book, please.
Fighting gout by moonlight, drinking Monster by daylight. He's the one called Sailor Jake.
That's great. Oh man.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
no spoilers, but someone in the Lost Pages 3 might call someone else slime sock.
Wow. Is that like your
you know.
universe's word for cum slut?
No.
No, it's just, it is creative though.
Yeah, it's just
Good.
creative.
Hey, slime sock.
I'm warning
Wait,
you. I know.
Jake's
Jake-
mom found a lot of slime socks in her day.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know Bancroft was complaining about exploratives. Is that the correct word?
Are you on this? I'm on the same page as Bancroft. That I don't like swears
it?
too. It takes me out of it. Not because I'm like all pearl clutching. I
What is
do.
it,
I agree
Irene?
with Bancroft. It takes me out of the experience. Do you agree, Phil?
What's the word I'm looking for? I agree.
Expletive.
Expletives.
Expletives.
Expletives. I'll say it.
Expletive expletives.
Expletives.
Yeah, inventing your own expletives is good. For
Yes,
show.
the slime sock, you know.
It's like Smeghead from Red Dwarf.
Yeah, y'all are weird. I can see if it's overdone, but I don't really have a problem.
There's a
with
way of doing it
expletives.
that's good. South Park does it well. You
Does
don't even
what?
know.
Swearing.
So
Yeah.
Bancroft, you'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
okay. You could read this to Mel if you want.
Like Team America did it well, but you know something like Has Been Hotel. It feels like you're hitting a road bump every time someone says fuck.
Well.
Yeah, you have to do
Um,
it right, and it feels
Call
natural.
Midget says, I heard that if you read Fiendish 3 times out loud, Mike Coon will jump out of your mirror and murder your ears. Can't risk it.
Wait, Fiendish 3 isn't even out. Oh, you mean if you read the Fiendish
1
book?
3 times. Yeah.
Oh well, then don't read it out loud. Then you can just read it to yourself and
Yeah, read it to
enjoy the
yourself.
story.
Just
Yeah,
mutter
whatever
under
you
your
do,
breath like a
don't read
coward.
it out loud because Mike Coon will take you.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It'll just jump out of the ether. So only read it silently, but read
Cool.
it.
Let's do just quick cycles. Everyone tell people where to find you to sub or whatever. Jake, want to go first?
On Twitter, it's HyperWizArt. Look, the D on the end of HyperWizard, you can replace that with a T, and that's the Twitter name. But otherwise, you can go to connellcomic.com or bluedickx.com to sign up for my upcoming book, which is going to be fucking funny and will contain a lot of made-up
Language.
expletives. Made up. There'll be no... I don't actually think there'll ever be any swearing in Connell, or any crass language, but obviously it's full of lewd content, but it's like it's got a twist to it where it's not like it's supposed to be there because it's edgy. It's supposed to be funny, so there will be loads of made up insults. I want to get Connell's World's version of Smeghead for sure, or their version of Cumsock from Phil's one.
And Fiendish 3, I have Casimir saying Odzilla's tits a lot.
Is tits?
Not a lot, but Odzilla is a goddess. So that's how
okay, I understand what you mean.
he swears.
Nice.
Yeah.
Goddess of, there's at least one example where the goddess of the underworld is also the goddess of reproduction. I think is it Osiris? I don't know. But I think it's more than one where it's like it's the underworld and reproduction is like the god. And I was like, oh, you know what? They're kind of tied together because it's like where are babies after we die, we go to the underground or the underworld, but where do we go before we're born? And it's like this underworld also.
Wait, the womb is like the portal that can suck souls out of the underworld, like a woman. That's amazing. A woman's reproductive system has like a link to the nether realm and basically pulls souls from oblivion and forces it into a new body. And
It's
says,
better.
"Live
It's
that
honestly
way."
better than any of the other things.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Irene, that reminds me, it was like Oxilla's tits, which is like, like Odin's hammer or whatever, like some god's thing. Well, in DC Comics, Lobo, he's the only one that says this, but when he's shocked by something, he says Fetal's Giz, and it's just like thing that probably Keith Giffen made up, and then they explain it later that Fetal is like this god on this other planet that this society worships, and it's his stomach. It's gizzard. It's a fetal gizzard,
Mhm.
and it's a shortened version. He says that all the time. Like, you know, he says like frag and
Bancroft
Yeah,
says
I think coming up
It
with
is.
creative in-world
fetal giz.
ways to swear is
Hold that.
immersive. Go ahead.
Birth canal.
Snarkticon says, by Odin's face.
I remember that. By Odin's face.
Get it? The birth canal is like the
That's
river
bad.
Styx.
Yeah.
That's what mythology was talking about all this time.
Irene, where do people find you?
You can find me at the absolute edges of my sanity on Twitter at Rini Draws, and also I have a website, RiniDraws.com, which people don't know about. By the way, I'm taking commissions, but not right now because I have a lot of commissions to catch up on. But I'm taking them, but for the second half of the year. So ask me now because I'm trying to schedule everything. So
nice.
DM me on Twitter, guys, if you guys would like a commission, please, and thank you. And also check out my comic at fiendishcomic.com. Thanks.
Nice.
Welcome.
And, what's up?
And I support swearing in comics. The end. Bye.
Irene supports using modern slang in her fantasy world too.
I use some, but it can't be too modern. It can't be like, well, this computer motherboard or some shit, right?
The famous slang, this computer motherboard. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times a day I say, man, this computer motherboard,
or
motherfucker.
That does
You know what I mean? I was
By the power of this computer motherboard, I curse
only
thee.
someone with English as a second language could say that.
Okay, you know, I'm just gonna not talk. Never mind.
No, I think it's great. I want to say that.
I mean,
I think computer motherboards are awesome. Don't put yourself
You know what you
down.
mean.
Bill, what about
that
you?
Go tomorrow. I'll be streaming at what time do you stream? 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern for the Deus Brothers show. We're closing out the voting for the fan art contest for the Lost Pages 3. So everybody vote, and also go to my Twitter and retweet the post that has all of the art in there. If you want a closer look at each art piece, retweet that to tell your friends. We already have like 280 votes or whatever. So thank you guys for voting. That will be printed in the back of the book, and that person gets a special care package with all of the goodies from the book in there. We're so close to going to print, so back it if you guys haven't. Grab a t-shirt, and follow me and sub to the Zig Comics channel, because sub to all of our channels, because we do the creative block on there.
Yep, sounds good. And it's with Jake next week, and it's been fun. Thank you to the panelists for joining me as always, and to the chat for hanging out. And then
thank you, Narwhals. Great show. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, good hosting.